Good evening, everybody. Hopefully you can hear us, hopefully you can see us, and hopefully you are joining us for what is sure to be a very, very jam-packed and exciting evening. Tonight we have got a whole host of goodies to introduce you to. Brand new products, magazine articles, the real sort of invention of foundations card. There is so much to talk about tonight. If I'm not still here at midnight waffling on and boring you to tears, I'm going to be very, very surprised because we've genuinely got loads and loads to get through. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this, but our lovely Gwen is away on holiday this week. She is resting up in Scotland and having a lovely time from what I hear with her lovely husband, Martin. So I have jumped in and I will be here this evening bringing you our sneaky peek, which is brilliant because it just so happens to fall this week when we will be on Hobby Maker on Monday. So it was a nice day to actually bring you our sneaky peek. You haven't got too long to wait before we launch it exclusively on Hobby Maker, and you haven't got too long to wait until it's available from our stockists. But we'll go through all of that as we go through the evening. But before I waffle too far and potentially just talk to ourselves, because me and Pete are here and we could just be bottling on and miming to you guys. As always, let us know in the comments if you can see us, if you can hear us, and if we're coming across okay. While we do that, should we do a little jump over to Peter and say good evening to Pete, who is, as always, here on hostage cam for us this evening. So let's check in with Pete and see what he's up to.
Yeah. Evening, everyone. How are we all doing? Hope you're all okay. Here I am again. I did get let out briefly.
Here I am again.
Here I am again. I got to see Lynn and lovely Wendy earlier. My dog's had a haircut.
Oh,
I came out. Never. Is it Buddy? I think it's
Wendy's
Buddy.
dog's Buddy. Yes, yeah, that's correct.
He went mad when I got to the gate. So yeah, lovely. Nice to see you all. But yeah, anyway, enough of my waffling. Listen to some of his waffling now.
And that's enough of memory tests because of Pete knows I have no memory whatsoever, and then puts me on the spot and asks me dog names. But no, it is Buddy. I'm sure it's Buddy. I'm going to question that now till Wendy tells us in the comments. Wendy, if you're with us, is your dog called Buddy? I do feel a little bit like a psychic doing a reading. It's not quite on the same level.
We could do that one night.
Oh, I don't think so. I wish we could though. Love to be able to do that.
We could try it.
Oh, I don't think it'd work. Maybe. If the crafts go, belly up, maybe we'll go into that world. We'll see. But the crafts are definitely not going belly up anytime soon. You guys have been supporting us like crazy, and today has shown that in spades. We'll be talking shortly about our magazine free gift that has launched today in the Die Cutting Essentials magazine. But before we even start talking about it, I want to say a genuinely heartfelt thank you. When we get approached to do things like magazine articles and free gifts, I never, of course I want them to resonate and I want you to all get excited about them, but I never ever dream that we're going to get 600 likes on a post celebrating the arrival of the magazine. Now, our lovely Rose Lloyd shared on the group, which if you're not already a member of the group, it is Creative Expressions official group, that she managed to get her magazine a day before it was released. It officially comes out today. Again, great timing, hey? But it comes out today. And Rose put up a little post yesterday saying, look, I've got it, it's here. And over 600 of you have already gone and liked that post. And so many of you have been asking, where can I get it? What countries is it available in? How much is it? What's it called? So do not fear if you haven't yet had your responses or seen your responses. We will take you through the magazine. We're going to open it live because I'll be honest with you. I've made the cards, I've done the dies, I've sent it all in, and now we actually get to see what it's going to be. So you'll get to see my reaction live when we open it and see, did they give us a little article hidden on page 97? Or have we got a few cards in there? And what does it all look like? And then I'm going to let you into a little sneaky. We're going to give the magazine away. So stay tuned. We're going to give it away. All right? But let's say hello to a few people because it's always lovely to see who's with us, who's joining us, and make sure that you all feel welcome and part of our little world, because that genuinely is what our lives are about. So, good evening, Kim. Good evening, Pam. Good evening, Rosanna. Good evening, Alison. Alison's magazine's en route. She's ordered it this morning and it's on its way. Good evening, Pam. Good evening, Samantha. Good evening, Angela. Tracy, Andrew, Joyce, Wendy. It is Buddy. Thank you, Wendy. Memory test, pass, tick, one down. Good evening, Lynn. Good evening, Sue, Alison. Yeah, Peter does need something on the wall to make it more homely, although it is hostage cam, so we don't want him to be too homely. The plan is next time I can get my order in with a lovely Swedish furniture manufacturer, the bookcases you see behind me will eventually go all the way down the wall. But we haven't yet told the accounts department, who is Peter, who has to okay such things. The problem is it isn't just a few Billy bookcases I'm after. The list is growing by the hour, and yeah, it's getting costly. And I think that actually it might just be easier to call ourselves an IKEA showroom by the end of it and possibly get some funding from IKEA. But we are working on it. So, okay, let's have a little look. Somebody's question, I can only see the reply, but somebody's question, can you get your magazine WH Smith's? I can officially confirm you can, because Peter bought our one that we're going to give away today in WH Smith's today, or as they're now known, TG Jones.
The last one.
Was the last one, and we are hearing a lot of that. You are out in force grabbing hold of that magazine. So it might be being waiting to be restocked. I'll talk more about where you can get it shortly, I promise, but good evening to all of you. There's loads of you here, and it is absolutely lovely to have you here, especially on an evening for a sneaky peek, because of tonight we've got lots and lots and lots to go through. So, shall we get started? Tonight's sneaky peek is all going to be about, I might tease you a little bit actually, let's tease you a little bit. What do you think tonight's sneaky peek is about? You might, I'm trying to see what you can see, you might be able to see some little hints of bits behind me, but give us a guess in the comments while I run you for a few bits. What do you think's going to, what do you think's going to appear tonight? The only hint we've given you so far is that it was some friends, maybe? Now I can see on your screen that you can see a Christmas tree, so there's going to be something Christmassy related to this, friends. I'm going to leave it there. Let's see what you all guess. In the meantime, the products that we talked to you about this evening, our exclusive launch products, they will be available on Hobby Maker, which is our lovely TV channel here in the UK, on Monday at 2 p.m. for an exclusive world launch. We'll be there at 2, we'll be back at 5. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. You know I always tell you the truth, because I think that's the most important part of what we do here, is we don't fluff, we don't lie, we tell you it as it is. And I'm going to be honest with you, we don't have astronomical amounts of stock for this collection. And that's simply because the last couple of shows at Hobby Maker, you guys have come in and you've bought everything we've taken to them, everything we had in reserve, and then with like the dies to dot, which I never know if I've got the right name because I've changed it about 30 times, but the dies to dot, I'm getting a nod, dies to dot, they had to go on to extended dispatch, and they are now waiting. They're being made, they're being sent. We won't have them until about the 18th of August, I believe the date is. I have a feeling tonight's collection might be a repeat performance in that setup. I don't want to scare you, I don't want to pressure you, you know, it'll come back, you can wait, you know, it'll be a while till Christmas, don't stress. But if you fall in love with it, be aware that genuinely Hobby Maker take a very large proportion of our stocks, and when it's gone, it's kind of gone. On the other side of this, our stockists have already put their orders in. So stockist launch will go ahead as planned, but there could be a bit of a problem like we've had with the dies to dot, where very quickly Hobby Maker are sold out, stockists are sold out, and we're standing here going middle of September before you're going to be able to get your hands on it. So just as a warning, I don't like to do that, but I like to tell you the truth. If it's what's going on, you need to know about it. If we've got thousands of them, I'll happily tell you we've got thousands of them. These we don't. Okay, so Monday the 11th, 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Because it's a Monday, our Monday night natter is moving, because I'm going to be in Birmingham. If you don't know this, we live in Great Yarmouth. It's about a 4-hour journey. There's no way I'm going to be back from 6 p.m. to here at 7 p.m. So we are going to move our Monday night natter to Tuesday night natter, which will be when we are celebrating our stockist launch. So join us Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. for even more inspiration with this collection that we're going to be talking about this evening. Okay, should we chat magazines? Should we chat magazines? Any questions in the comments before we go any further? But if not, let's chat mags.
Lynn and Diane both say they know what it is. They're cheeky monkeys,
They might
aren't
know
they?
what it is. They might know what it is. Now, talking about DT, before I forget, because I always feel really, really bad because I forget all of the time, and it's not because I'm not grateful, it's because I have a memory like a fish. Before we even begin tonight, I want to truly say thank you to our DT. Our DT, as many of you will have seen this week, has expanded. Can't tell you why, but they're expanding. We have welcomed Laura Mann and Siobhan Fife to the team. As you know, they join, and here's where I have to try and get all the names right. Ian, Wendy, Lynn, Diane, Emma, Sharon. That's all of them. I think we've covered them all.
Sorry,
we need this wrote down somewhere.
You should.
But they join our amazing team that work tirelessly to bring us so many incredible samples. And tonight, Siobhan and Laura have made samples for us too. So we have got a ridiculous amount of samples to share with you. So I might not share them all with you tonight. We might show you some on the shows and then some next Tuesday when we're back for our Tuesday night natter. But we'll try and show you as many as we can to give you as much inspiration as we can do. So let's jump into this magazine bit, shall we? Because that's very important and we need to chat about this because it's rather cool. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is kind of one of my crafty bucket list things to do. We all have them in life, don't we? Them kind of things we want to achieve. Being a free gift on a magazine is certainly one of mine. I never, ever dreamt. I've been in the craft industry 20 plus years now. You know, you kind of get to a point where you think, my moment's gone. I'm not going to ever get that big. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to achieve what I want to do. One of the things I've always wanted to achieve is to be featured in a magazine and to be able to bring my style of craft to you guys in a free gift format. Because I actually think, and you know, I've seen a couple of comments that disagree, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say it. I think they're great value. When you look at the gifts that you get in a magazine like this, the magazine's recommended retail price is $9.99. If we here at Creative Expressions was to make them dies and put them into a set for you, even as individuals, they would cost you probably double that price. I don't think we're ridiculously expensive, so that makes that magazine incredibly cheap, incredibly bargain, incredibly good value in my mind. On top of that, you're going to get free download papers and you're going to get all the inspiration, which I don't know about you, but to me, that's priceless because how many times do we sit there thinking, what do I do next? How am I going to do it? What ideas have I got? What colour scheme do I want to work in? Well, this little book is going to give you a bit of inspiration with that too. So tonight, we are talking about, now let me find it because I should know it and I've gone and forgot it. We are talking about issue 132 and the magazine is called Die Cutting Essentials. And I genuinely haven't seen what's inside this and I thought it would be kind of fun if we delve into it together. So, okay, first of all, apologies for my big mug stuck on the front here. Not my choice, but one of the bits to make sure that you know it's me, which is kind of lovely. Now in here, what have we got? We have got our dies. We have got 2 of our Kaleidoscope segment dies. Now Peter is going to go and get us, because I didn't think to do this,
I had a feeling this
the Christmas set and the OG set, so I can talk to you a little bit about what we can do with those. You've also got a corner die in here and you've got Merry Christmas. So actually 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 different elements that you can play around with and create. So I'm going to try and open this somewhere neatly so that we can rebag it and send it out. So let's just trim this top part off. Let's take that part away for a second and we'll give a little dig into this. So your magazine, where can you get hold of this? So you can pop onto Craft World, who is basically the publishing company, and you can get it off of the Craft World, yeah, I've got that right, Craft World website, and you can order it, you can subscribe, you can get them in the post every time they come out. You can, as I mentioned, get them in WH Smith's. I know people have been picking these up in Tesco's, Morrison's, Sainsbury's, Asda's. They're kind of in a lot of places you would normally go to for your magazines, so just have a little look about. If you get stuck, then I will always tell you, especially if you're looking for this abroad. We've had an awful lot of people today asking, can I get this in Canada? Can I get this in America? Can I get it in Australia? There is an email address we've been posting a lot of. It is basically the Craft World email address. It's customer service at somewhere. I'm going to get Pete to look it up for me. It's on the bottom of the Craft World website, or if you go to the contact us bit, just shout it out when you found it for me, please, Pete, and we will tell you once again. But if you do want to know, is it in your country or where is the stockist I can get it from, then genuinely, and I know this is awful because it's got my face on it, so you think I would know, but this is like a team effort. we do the design, we do the cards, we do the inspiration. We don't handle the distribution or the magazine. And the magazine next month, it'll move on to somebody else. It'll be John Lockwood or Chloe or Stephanie Waitman or somebody else. So it's not linked to us in that sense. So I can't go, oh yeah, we're gonna distribute that, or that's one of our products, or we know too much about all of the countries it goes to. So if you're stuck, if you want to know more, email the company. I am sure they will help. They're a lovely team at Craft World. I know they will help you out. So going back to it while Pete's having a little look.
Yeah, so it's customer service at craftworld.com.
Customer service at craftworld.com. Even I could remember that. Where did that go in my little head? Could have remembered that much. Okay, so in here then you have got your dies. So your dies are coming to you. Oh, little glue dot. Take that away. So your dies are in here for you. I'm not going to get rid of this bag, so we don't need this one, do we? Your dies are in here, and you have got 2 segments for your kaleidoscope. And these are independent segments, not attached to the outside edges. So 2 pieces with a Christmas theme. If we remove those, you can see them possibly slightly better. And you can see your separate outside edges. You can see exactly what they're going to cut like here. You've got one with holly and you've got one with a big star in. We've then got 2 different outside edges, and I wanted to give you something different with these. Normally when we do our kaleidoscopes, and I'll show you the originals in a moment, normally every section comes with a matching outside triangle. And that's the part that means that you can cut that delicate panel out, or you can cut it in, or you can create a backing to go behind it. But instead this time, instead of giving you 2 of those again, what we've given you is we've given you this larger triangle. So as you can see, about 1/4 inch-ish bigger than the flat one. And that is designed in such a way that you can layer these ones over those ones. So you can still get a matte and layer without giving you a massive 8-inch die or a 7-inch die. Because normally in our sets, we will give you a circular die to build up on top of. This, if you build that round, gives you the same illusion of that full circle. It also means that you might wish to do them in different colours as you go round, so you end up with a different effect. Or you might wish to stack them and then leave a little gap in between them. Or you might wish to cut your sections into those and have them as wider sections. So lots and lots of different ways you can work with these, even slightly different variations to what you can do with the originals. Now the originals, as such, we started way back last year with our first one, the OG, as Daniel in our warehouse calls it. So me and Pete have adopted the OG kaleidoscope segments. This one is literally the original. So it's got very everyday sections, 4 different corners, 21 dies in total. And then we did just recently, literally last month, our Christmas kaleidoscope. And these all interchange. The sections are the same sizes. So you might choose to bring your 2 new ones in and interchange them with some of the panels you see throughout this section or throughout this one. It's all mix and match, as much as you want to mix and match between your magazine and those 2 sets. There is also available a kaleidoscope octagons. Now, all of these products we're talking about, these are already available at stockists around the world. The kaleidoscope octagons is smaller than the circles. These do not work together. There's no crossover. Different product, different way, same concept, to give you an idea. But with your magazine, you are going to receive those 2 different sections. Then you've got your Merry Christmas, and you've got a really lovely big corner die to work with as well. Now I'm going to try and put these back on here neatly, because as I say, we're going to send this out to somebody, and it'd be nice if it doesn't look like it's been sort of ripped apart. So we'll stick them back on. Now what Pete suggested, and I always find these kind of things a bit big-headed, so I'm never really, it's like pictures on things. Left to me, that would not be there. I do not like it. But powers that be tell me I have to do certain things, so certain things we do. So we could send out this magazine and it would be just like all of the others you could go and find and purchase. So what Pete said is, let's make this special. Let's bring this in and get you to sign it so that it's a one-off edition. So we are going to send this out for one of you to win, and we will post it to you anywhere in the world. All you have to do is pop in the comments, what issue number is this magazine? What issue number is this magazine? I've told you the answer already, and if you have a little scoot around on that screen, you're going to find your answer. pop that in the comments, and by the end of the evening, Pete will pick one lucky winner and we will post this out to you. So you might already have it and just want to collect another one. You might want to gift it to a friend. You might want extra dies so that you've got 2 sets to play with, so making your cutting quicker and easier. Or you might not have even seen it or got it yet, and you'd like to save yourself $9.99. Whatever the reason may be, pop in the comments which issue number this one is, and Pete will pick one lucky winner to win it. Now, if we have a little flick through, as I say, I genuinely haven't seen in here, so I don't know where we are. I don't know where we're going to be mentioned. We could be on page 782. So shall we start at the back and flick through? Oh, that looks pretty. Lisa Horton featuring soon. They're lovely. We like a Christmas reindeer. Oh, here we are. See, there we are. That's a bit of us. Where are we? So here we go. We are right at the back here. And we have got in here 1, 2, 3. What else is here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards to give you some inspiration. So 5 different cards with instructions and top tips to give you some ideas on what you're going to be able to create with these. Now, I have a feeling that there might be some inspiration also in here. And I'm only going by something Lynn told me earlier on a message, that there might be something else in here from somebody else that might be of interest to us. But I'll have a little flick. But look at all of this. Honestly, this is why I love a magazine. Look at all of this inspiration. And you know what? You might not like every creation, every idea, but you can take one thing from it and run with it. So here we go. Let's have a look here. What have we got? So who's this? Mel Jess has been creating bunting. That looks really cool, doesn't it? I love that. Look at that project. That's cool as well. A little lantern. Another little, oh, imagine the cake you could put in there. And little, oh, the gift tags are cute, aren't they? So more inspiration there. Is that? I'm going to guess that's going to be all of it, but we will just have a little scoot through. So are you all getting your guesses in? What number are we looking for? What number magazine is this? And we will send it out to one lucky winner. You could just be now watching me read, because I am a very slow reader, and B, I could be here for hours. Oh, there's more. Oh, look at them. They're pretty.
Cheshire Crafts, though, one of ours.
Do they? Oh, amazing. So yeah, do check out your stockists as well, your lovely craft shops, online, in store. You might well find that they've got a copy of it as well available for you. So Cheshire Crafts of Winsford.
Yeah, they're in the, you just flick through on the page.
Oh, they're in the magazine as well?
Yeah.
Oh, are they? Where?
A few pages ago.
Oh, a few pages ago. Have you not watched? I'm flicking back and forth like an Anna. Okay, well, you're going to have a look for me so we can have a little look. These are gorgeous. You don't want to watch me look for a magazine for hours, so we're going to move on swiftly. The last thing to mention is there is free downloads. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't fully know how that works, but there is free downloads that you, I believe, go onto their website and download, and then you print them. Mine were printed for me by Peter. So Pete might be able to jump in at this stage and tell us how that works. And I know that I've used some of mine. I didn't prepare for this till about 5 minutes ago, but there is lots of downloads that we designed to go with them so that you can use these with your die sets or just as an independent item. Are you going to find us for us in there? Our Cheshire Crafts bit. And have you got lots of entries to pick a winner from?
Loads of entries.
Good. That's what we like. Good. We like the idea of giving bits away, and we like the idea of making happy viewers, because that's always what it's about, isn't it? So, magazine is out and available now. If you have any questions, do pop them in the comments. But as I mentioned, very much so, if you're wondering, can I get it in Australia? Can I get it in Spain? Can I get it in? Then do send that email address a quick question, and I'm sure somebody there will be able to help you with a bit more guidance. Here in the UK, you can be looking in WH Smith's, you can be looking in your supermarkets, Tesco's, Asda, Sainsbury's. Mine goes blank at this stage.
Sue's off to Asda after this catch
Asda, lovely. Okay, this isn't, again, planned at all, because it isn't. We didn't know what was going to be in the magazine. Lovely, though, to see one of our stockists celebrating 25 years. That there, huge achievement. Don't ever look at that in a shop's terms or in their message and think that that was an easy achievement. You think back over the last 25 years of everything that's gone on, the internet being born, and seeing that this company has managed to adapt, keep up, build, form, and still be here. Huge hats off to you. Truthfully, that's an achievement. Don't blame me for yelling about it. But more importantly, let's have a little look. You can see lovely products, lots of creative expressions, some Sweet Dixie, lovely 12 by 12, some stamps, inks, mediums, cardio stamps. That looks a lovely shop. I want to go there. Okay.
Lynn and Kim said check page 50, 51 too.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll let Pete look at that and we'll come back to that later because I've got so much to get through this evening. You don't want to keep watching me read because I'm really, really slow at it. It's the last thing you need to see. So tonight, before we get into the new goodies, because I am teasing you a little bit, making you wait, aren't I want to show you this. We told you about this on Monday night. Foundations is back. As you know, with our new umbrella brand, Creative Expressions, we, of course, still have our Jamie Rodgers Craft World. It is the Jamie Rodgers Craft World we're going to be looking at this evening for our new goodies. But we are rebuilding the Creative Expressions brand. That's our aim, that's our passion, that's what we want to do. And to me, one of the very first things I said when this whole idea came about is I need Foundations card back. I loved Foundations card. It's just a colour rainbow all on its own. It's amazing. It's great quality. It comes in for everything I need it to do. And I've missed that. I've really missed that. So we needed to bring that back. So I'm not going to tell you that everything is here because it isn't. We're aiming for 100 different product options in this category. That's not going to happen overnight. But our first pallets arrived on Monday. And I've got about 30 items to share with you. The other 70 will be dropping in the next few weeks, maybe even months, as they get packed and sent in to us. If you think of the manual work that goes into this is all sourced here in the UK. It is all packed by hand for us and then sent here to us in Great Yarmouth. It's a task and a half, and the quantities we're talking about and the amounts we're looking at, that isn't something any factory can just do in a day. So it is a bit slow, and we did say, should we wait till all 100 are here? But being impatient and knowing how much we've all missed it, we needed to bring it back to you quicker. So we've bought you the first 30 colours. Already, this is starting to be sent out to our stockists. So already I can tell you the Art of Craft, Cheshire Crafts, Unicorn Crafts, Craft Mania and Hadrian's Hobbies have already started ordering these products. They might not be there yet because I was only told yesterday at about 5 o'clock how they could order them. So do bear with them a bit, but keep an eye on them because it's going to arrive. They're going to be talking about it. So we could flick for all of these and we will in a quick step. But let's give you a little side view, shall we? So our rainbow is beginning. We have got black, azure blue, bright white, barley grey. I never know, is that barley grey or barley grey? Barley grey?
Got an E in it?
Yeah.
Barely.
Barley grey. I never knew that. 4 years I was with that, I never had a clue. Custard, cornflower blue, coral, coconut white, 230 GSM, coconut white, 315 GSM. So that's the one we want to build our card blanks with. Then we've got lime, we have got ice blue, ivory, iris, honeydew, heather, emerald, deep blue, dark denim, I love this, that's gorgeous, pink cotton, one of my favourite pinks, milk, raspberry, sand, yellow sherbet, wisteria, love the wisteria, one of my faves, pumpkin, periwinkle, another one of my faves, stone, sherbet, slate grey, I'm sure I said sherbet once, I said yellow sherbet, didn't I? Soft lavender, oh, and then we go off on a bit of a tangent. So all of those ones, those are all $4.99 individually is their recommended price. There are 10 sheet pack, A4, and the GSMs do vary slightly depending on the colour. Every pack will tell you quite clearly on the front of it what GSM it is. They're just a great cardstock to work with. You can stamp them, you can die cut them, you can emboss them. They're a great foundation, literal card that you can work with. We give you a little flick over to the back. It will tell you on the back here that we are aiming for over 100 variations in mirror, pearl, plain, vellum, textured and more. This is just the first 30, more will be coming soon. But this is a great time for you to get your mitts on some of these. Then we have got our heat emboss acetate. Now again, we do an emboss acetate, we do an acetate under the Jamie Rodgers Crafts brand. We do not do a heat emboss acetate. So So lovely to have this back because it opens up a whole new world of options. This one, £5.99, 10 sheets, 120 micron. Then we've got watercolour card, again £5.99, 10 sheets, 290 GSM. And lastly, we've got craft card, 210 GSM, 10 sheets in that pack, and that one is £3.99. So as I say, it's going to take a moment. Don't expect any of your stockists to necessarily have known that this was coming, because they didn't, and have budgeted to bring in this huge array of colours straight away. But a lot of the stockists we mentioned are starting to bring in different bits and bobs of it, and I have a feeling you're going to see that collection grow in the coming weeks, not only with your stockists, but with us as well. Last thing before we move on to our new goodies, the bit I'm kind of teasing you with, I'm sorry, but I want you to know everything that's going on here. We have got brand new craft sheets. This is what I'm working on here to give you an idea of the size. These are new or back in stock, however you wish to look at it, new to us here, but a back in stock item from the original Creative Expressions days. These ones have actually come down slightly in price, Peter. These ones now, their recommended retail price is £7.99. They used to be £8.49.
There you go.
I can tell you that. Yeah. So a little bit of a saving on those. If you haven't already got a craft sheet, they're an essential tool to work with. They're great for blending. They are heat resistant. So again, if you're going to play with UT and embossing powders, they're going to work brilliantly, and they're a non-stick surface. You don't have to worry about anything getting stuck to them. Any questions about all of that lot before we move on in? And did anybody guess correctly, or what guesses did we have for what are we launching this evening?
Well, we had Christmas and Rodney's family, I believe I heard.
Did somebody guess Rodney's family?
They did. I can't remember who.
Well
There's
done.
been so many comments.
Well done.
tonight.
Has there? We will
Thank
try and
you.
go back through them all and read them at the end. So if we miss a question, you can either highlight it again for us, or don't panic. Later tonight and tomorrow, the team will go back through your comments and make sure that we've got everything. So to whomever guessed Rodney, well done. If you're sat there thinking, who is Rodney? What is this strange man on about? Let's introduce you to where Rodney began. So last year, we brought out a whole festive wishes collection of stamps, and Rodney was by far the star of the show. Rodney literally, and it isn't all about sales, it isn't that's the important bit necessarily, but it does give us an indication of what you all love. Rodney sold, in comparison, or how do I word that, about 5 times the amount of every other stamp we've ever released ever. We could see clearly that you loved Rodney, you needed more Rodney, and we told you at the very time, and we've been kind of teasing it now for nearly a year, that Rodney would come back and we would improve on Rodney, because of not only is Rodney brilliant and he is still available in the format you see him here right now, but one of the things we very quickly learned when we started designing stamps is actually, not only do we want stamps, we want the matching dies. So Rodney is back, and Rodney is bringing with him his family, and he is bringing with him the matching die sets, so that you don't have to worry about fussy cutting him out. That doesn't mean you have to die cut him. Of course you can stamp him and leave him where he is. But if you do want to set him free and cut him out, you can use the matching dies to go with him. So this is just one of them. I'll show you through the boards so you can see all of them. This one is Rosie. This is Rosie's skiing adventures. You will notice they are all our related names. That's mostly to help me with my memory. But this one is Rosie, and this is Rodney's daughter. We are building a family. I know it is a little bit bonkers. Rosie's skiing adventure, to give you a little glimpse, has 3 dies. It has 5 stamps, and that means that you have got the die to go with the birdhouse, you've got the little die to go with the bird, and you've got the die to go with Rosie. We've then in here got a little sentiment which is saying having so much fun, and you have got a snow stamp that you can stamp to sort of create the illusion of falling snow around any of the characters, because this is all going to intermix for you perfectly. So DL set of stamps, matching set of dies. Recommended retail price for these sets is £19.99. One thing I am just going to bring to your attention, in case you haven't heard us talk about this previously, our Jamie Rodgers Crafts dies have always been silver. With our acquisition of Creative Expressions, we want to bring our brand into line and make sure everything matches, so that when you see a product, whether it's under the Jamie Rodgers Crafts brand, whether it's under the Creative Expressions brand, or whether it's under one of the brands we are yet to announce, it will all coordinate through. So all of our dies moving forward will be that lovely copper shade that you know and love for Creative Expressions. Now, decisions around here happen very, 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 very quickly. So when you see me working with these dies, you may spot that my sample dies are the original silver. That's how far out we start planning. We plan a long time before Pete sits there and goes, have you thought about buying Creative Expressions? Should we do that? Should we just buy another company, Jamie? So yeah, this has been in the works for a while, a lot longer than the idea of Creative Expressions and the brown has been in it, or the copper's been in your plans. So ours are silver, but yours will come to you in our lovely copper shade. So don't be alarmed if when you receive them, they're a different colour. So let's take you through Rodney. Let's show you Rodney. Let's show you board format of Rodney. So Rodney couldn't just be left as he was, because I know I've shown you Rosie, but we're going to go back a stage. We need to show you 2025 Rodney. That's original Rodney, the OG Rodney. We couldn't want to just bring him back as he was, because we know that several hundred of you, if not thousands, have already got OG Rodney. So what we needed to do is bring you Rodney, but in a different pose. I bring you Snowball Fighting Rodney, which I don't think is his proper name. Oh, I have got the names on them. What's his proper name? Rodney Snowball Fight. 4 dies, 9 stamps. So again, you've got the matching stamps and you've got the matching dies to make this nice and easy so you can cut out and layer all of the elements you need. You have got Rodney holding onto his snowball, ready with his little collection, ready to fire quickly and take down whoever he's aiming at. We have the snowballs in motion. We have the snowballs that have hit their target. Of course, we can use the die cuts on their own as blanks if we prefer. We can use the stamps as just stamps. Then we've got a few sentiments. Have a cool Yule, Snowball Fight, have a ball this Christmas, and winter wishes. That's Rodney. To go with Rodney, we had to marry him off. So we've brought in Rebecca. And Rebecca's name is Rebecca's Gift of Christmas. 5 dies, 7 stamps. And she is absolutely Rodney's wife. So as we can see, they fit together perfectly. So maybe you're doing sort of snowy themed, Christmassy themed anniversary cards. Maybe you want to send one to the hubby. Maybe you want to send one to the wife. It's going to work for you. It's going to send that romantic feeling because we've now got a Mr. and Mrs. Rodney. Also, with Rebecca, you will find that we've got presents. Now, I love these presents because these are much more than Christmas. Depending on the colours and styles we do these in, they can be all year round. We've got snowflakes, and then we've got a few words from me to you this Christmas, sending winter wishes and with love. You've also got a tag die that is going to fit to cut out several of the different phrases or sentiments throughout this collection. And I also really love the way you've got the matching die to go with the snowflakes. So if you want to cut those out, layer them as if they're falling, that's going to be really easy and effective to do. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Rodney, you know they've had Rosie, they're a bit frisky. So we of course have Rosie. Pete's just holding his head over there in shame. Did you ever imagine we'd be stood here talking about snowmen like this?
I think you need some sleep.
I do need some sleep. It's been a funny week. But we've got Rosie, and Rosie is called Rosie's Skiing Adventure. And in here we've got 3 dies, 5 stamps. So Rosie has got beautiful little eyelashes, and she's got that little feminine touch. Of course, kind of aiming for that, but of course, colour dependent. Rosie could be Roger. No one's going to judge you. You can take these off on whatever size and style and colour scheme and theme you want to as such. I often talk about this. I always feel like with the scarves and the bobble hats, what a great way to colour them into match teams of people, you know, football teams and teams that people support in kind of activities. I'm very vague on this. Don't ask me about colours because I haven't got a clue. I know Norwich is green and yellow.
Norwich is green and yellow, yeah.
Daniel supports Liverpool. That's red and white.
Yeah.
That's
I
where
think
I
Aston Villa is...
I think that's very Creative Expressions.
Maroon-y.
Is that not the teal and burgundy? Aston Villa.
Oh, I think it's burgundy.
Well, we're burgundy.
Is it
teal?
teal?
I don't know. But whatever the colour scheme is, you could colour in the scarves and the hats and bits if you wanted to. We then have, and I love this, I'm so pleased with how this come out, a little birdhouse with the snow on the roof. Then we've got a little birdie to go in it. We've got a sentiment having snow much fun, and we've got some falling snow that we can stamp. Back to our frisky couple. Couldn't stop at one. So we've got Riley's North Pole Adventure, and Riley is here, and I love Riley. Riley just, to me is so cute, so adorable. Again, fits perfectly within the scene. You're probably going to notice at this stage, we've intentionally had them so that they're looking in different directions. So if you want to build up your scenes, you want to make your multifold cards, you want to use them through scrapbook albums, everything is going to work for you in that format. With Riley, we've got the North Pole This Way sign. It's a Winter Wonderland special delivery, a snowflake border, and again, a little present. And this is what I love about doing sets like this. If we have room in a set, if we can find an area we can fit something in, we'll put a present in this one that's going to match perfectly with the presents in that one, so that actually you can build that up as a scene for a birthday, Valentine's, Christmas, Easter, whatever it may be. Forget the snowmen, it could just be about the presents. But it all works, and then of course works across the board, so it all goes together. Recommended retail price for each of the stamp sets, they're all going to come to you in the same way, stamp and die set in a set, £19.99 is your recommended for these. Now we wanted to help you out by giving you the bits to build the scenes as well, and we will show you some examples shortly, I promise, but I want you to see all of the different components before I kind of bombard you with samples. So we've got our winter scene die set. In this set we have 6 dies. So we've got big trees, little trees, medium trees, we've got a log cabin, and then we've got our reindeers. Now this set, the recommended retail price for this one is £16.99. And this to me is all about bringing in your snow people and popping them in front of them trees, popping them in front of them scenes, and giving them that depth that we're going to want to create within that scene. That's stage 1 of our scene building. Now, if we're going to build a scene, one of the things I always think we really need is some... Oh, I haven't shown you this. Let me show you this. This is how they're cut out, to give you an idea. They're all of your elements cut out on the board. Now, to go with these, we need to make sure you've got everything you need to make your card. So we've given you the background, we've given you the sort of middle ground with your characters. Then we need to make sure that you have got the perfect items to frame them within. So we are bringing in our square snowflake frame. Now this is exactly as it says on the tin. It is your square snowflake frame. Now a lot of brands, and this is no shade on other brands, you know, we all have to do what we think is right and make sure that we're bringing you the best products. And sometimes when we look at it in this format, it can get a little bit more confusing. Do I need to use these with these? Are they independent? Is that a set on its own right? What's going on here? To me, I would prefer to fill that void and bring you the best value for money we can. So by adding these bits in here, we're using every available part of that metal to bring you as many dies in a set as we can possibly do. So in this set, we've got 8 different dies. These snowflakes can be layered up on top of the snowflakes in the frame. Around the frame, you're going to notice that the actual outside square is separate to the main square. That means that this square can be cut in and left in the front of your card if you want it to be. You can use the frame that comes with it to cut it out. Or of course you could bring in any square die you have that is larger than that frame. So whether that's one of our mats and layer dies, whether that's one of Sue's mats and layer dies, whether that's a tonic mats and layer dies, whatever it is, if it's a square, one of the lovely bits about squares and circles, it's going to fit. And this is going to stay, that frame is going to stay in the middle of it. So you could have whatever fancy edges you wish to, just by putting a different edge around it. Now, of course, these work brilliantly with our mats and layers collection. So we've got our postage squares, we've got our scalloped, we've got our decal, we've got our pierced lines, our stitch lines, our plain lines, and our fluted squares. So loads of different edges you could put around them. Snowflakes on their own, just really, really pretty snowflakes that you can, of course, work with however you wish to. We've tried to show you on the board that this bit here is using it and leaving it in the card and trimming it out with a guillotine. And that's trying to give you the idea here that you choose how deep that is. So again, it could be the front of a card, it could be the middle of a 12 by 12 scrapbook page. You could do it on all 4 sides, turn it into a box and have a little electronic candle thing in the middle and light it up if you wanted to. You could make a little scene with all the snow people inside it. The choice is yours. But we didn't want to leave you with just a square. So we've also bought you a circle. So the circle is exactly the same concept. We have the outer circle edge, so that plain circle. We then have your snowflake circle. And then in the middle, because we knew we was going to give you lots of loose individual snowflakes with the square, we thought, actually, do you know what? Let's give you one jolly great big snowflake. Because of that, to me, gives you even more value. Because if we bought you that snowflake on its own, just as a die separately, that would probably be $11.99, $12.99. Somewhere around that, I reckon.
Easily, I'd have thought.
I think that's quite a contribution to our value. So that's a good indicator of where we're going. Then you've got your outside edge, then you've got your main frame, and then you've got your layering circle to go with it. So lots and lots of ways that you're going to be able to play with this and build that up as it is. Your recommended retail price for these, they are big dies. These ones are $28.99 each. So $28.99 for your circle, $28.99 for your square. Size-wise, to give you an idea, your square is 6.8 inches by 6.8 inches, so just shy of 7-inch square. That's a huge die, and we did this intentionally to give you the ability to fit in your Rodneys, fit in your seam, build up all of those components in those apertures without stealing the show from what we're putting behind them. So we've got our frames, we've got our background as such, we've got our focal points. What else do we need to bring to you in this collection? If you haven't guessed already, because you probably haven't, because we've never done this before, we need to bring you some papers. I've been so excited about this. This is our Snowy Scenes paper pad. I love a paper.
It's so lovely.
I am a child. I am when it comes to craft stuff. I love my craft stuff. And there's, again, we spoke about this when we were talking about the magazines. There are things I'm aiming to do. There are things that are on my bucket list that I want to achieve and I want to bring you and I want to make sure that we can do as a brand, things that I feel we need to fit in. And papers is something that we have genuinely been working on since last September.
I'd say so. Yep.
Last September, I would imagine, we started the journey with paper pads, didn't we? So that's 10 months. 10 months from starting the journey to actually being able to go, here you go, here's a paper pad. It's ridiculous. It really is. Some things we can do them in weeks, other things might move into months, other things move nearly into years. And this is one of them. Don't talk to me about embossing folders. That goes on the list of years. Come to that another day. Come to that another day. So your paper pad, this one is A4 size, is 140 GSM. There is 60 sheets in here. There are 30 designs, and you're going to receive 2 of each sheet. The paper pad recommended retail price is $14.99. Now I'm just going to flick through these. These are my proofs. So if you're seeing that white edge run around them, yours will not have the white edge, do not fear. It's just the proofs that I've got to hand without opening the packs. So as you can see, you have got solid colours, you have got snowflakes, you have got radiance, you've got really beautiful prints like this one to play with, you've got darker shades, lighter shades, mixed shades, bigger snowflakes, bolder snowflakes, snow, frost, plain backgrounds that could be used for a whole host of different things. And then we should have, here we go, we're coming into them. I panicked then, I hadn't got them. We've then got scenes as well. So you start thinking, look at that. Where's my Rodney gone? Rodney in his little scene. Nothing makes me happier than that. Doesn't. I know it's mad, but doesn't that just make you happy? So lots of different scenes for Rodney to be stood in, different sizes, different dimensions, different styles. So in your paper pad, you will receive 60 sheets, 30 designs, 2 of each, 140 GSM, and they are uncoated. What does uncoated mean? Uncoated means that we can add to them. What could we be adding? Well, first of all, we could be stamping on them. So bring in Rodney, stick that on there. It's going to stamp on it, depending on the ink you're using. But you'd be able to, pretty much most inks, to be fair. You're going to be able to stamp on it because it's uncoated, it's going to absorb. So we're not talking stays on, we're not talking inks that are going to go onto glossy surfaces. We're talking your bog standard inks. They're going to be fine. Pigment inks, dye inks, that'll be all right to go on it. What else does this mean, though, that we could be doing if we was to be playing with uncoated cardstock? Can you see them? You can't see them on my shelf. I had this plan that I was going to point to my shelves and tell you that there's something new on the shelves. You can't see them, so I'm going to have to go get them. We're going to bring you brand new mica mists. These are exciting too. And these have purposely been brought out now because you can bring in your mica mists and you can mist over your papers. And when you mist over your papers, you can take these off on a different tangent. You can take them off on a different way. Now, you don't have to just use these over papers. We can mix these with texture paste. We can mist them over our stencils. We can do all sorts of mixing and creating with these. But if we bring in just a quick card here, where we've misted the gold, and I don't know how well you're going to see that, but we've misted the gold over the background paper, it takes that beautifully and it gives us that pearly finish. This one is the white pearl. Now I think you're going to see that better Can you see all that beautiful white pearl sit on top of that sheet? Now I'm going to see if I can pass these to Pete to find that sheet so you can see the difference between this and the sheet. But these have got a whole host of things we can do with them. So let's bring them in this format because this is a nice way to show them to you. This is just laying a stencil down, white card, black card, giving them a mist, seeing what we create. This one is our copper pearl. Now can you see how incredibly shiny this mica is? Now when these settle, like here, there's a lot of water and you're going to think, hang on a minute, what's he sold me here? It's a bottle of Evian. Give it a little shake. In here is a ball bearing, little foamy bally bit, and it will shake it all up for you, and then you will end up with that beautiful swishy mica moving around in there. And that's the colour we need to be playing with. This is the colour we can mist with. This is the colour we can mix into other items. This is the colour we can sprinkle over or mist over our papers. Then we move on. This one is our ocean pearl. So we have got copper pearl, we've got ocean pearl. Then we've got our white. This one is white pearl. I'm going to try and line them out actually so you can see them slightly, like so. Then we're going to have mint pearl. Oh, I love mint. That soft, beautiful mint. And look at that on the black. Doesn't that pop beautifully? Now on black, the mint, when I did it, I was like, oh, I've used the wrong bottle because they look the same. So do be aware, your blue and your mint are going to look very similar on your black card. But when you look at them on the white card, very, very different. Very different. But the mica is going to react differently depending on the colour they land on. Then we've got gold. So this is our gold pearl. Look at that. Isn't that luxury in a bottle? I love this, genuinely. And I know that's a term that we overuse sometimes, but look at that shimmer. And I love the way that we've misted it and we've got all of this texture going on. That's beautifully flat, but yet the way it's landed and the way the mica's sort of sitting there, beautiful effect, beautiful. And then lastly, this one is sage pearl. This is my Harrods Green-esque mica mist. I love that kind of Harrodsy greeny, that really rich, evergreeny greeny. I love that shade. To me, that's my green happy place. And when we look at this on our card, isn't that glorious? Again, lots of mica shining through there on the black. The white looks a bit more subtle on my screen, so I'm hoping you're seeing that okay. But they're beautiful. These, the recommended retail price for these is $4.99 per bottle, and in a bottle you receive 30 ml. There is genuinely an awful lot of mica in these. Now, this is something that's always important to us. We know there are a lot of misters on the market that come to you already with mica in them. If we're going to do a product, we need to make sure that our product is better. It's got to have a point of difference. Have a look at how much mica we've fitted into these misters. That shimmer, that shine, I would like to genuinely believe that sets us aside from a lot of mica mists or misters you've come across previously or you'll come across in the future, because to us, that's what we need to be doing. Now, Pete has managed to hook out this page for me. So that's it without the mist. This is it with the mist. So you can genuinely see now what that little light mist from that mister bottle has done to our paper. Nothing wrong with the papers. The papers are beautiful. That looks a little bit cartoonified. This looks to me a little more Thomas Kinkadified. We are now just inventing words. But that light that's reflecting off the mica gives it a more adult luxury feel. So when we're going for the reindeers, to me, I want a bit more adult, a bit more sensible, a bit more grown up. When I'm going for Rodney, I want a little bit more cartoony because Rodney's cartoony. These mists are going to help you take the same page from the same pad and give it those two different looks, in my opinion. This diffuses that image, classes it up a little bit maybe, gives it a bit more texture, a bit more depth. Now, another thing we can do with these, you know I'm all about the mixing. If we can mix a product, I am going to mix that product within an inch of its life. And this one is a product we can mix. This is a good old-fashioned liquid. What can we do with liquids? We can mix them. So if we bring in our clear texture paste and we start just taking the smallest amount of this, and I mean 3 pumps, done. Give it a mix, stick it for a stencil. You have now got the most beautiful mica shimmer glaze that I've ever seen. Now this reminds me a bit of my glossy glazes that I did with Cosmic Shimmer, very similar style of effect, but I've managed to create these on my own with my clear texture paste and 2 or 3 pumps of this. Now we don't have to stop here. I've done one colour into the clear, made that, created with it. But think about all of the different things you could be bringing into this. Now you know that this from our lives, you've watched us do this so many times, but you start thinking about bringing in your glitters and adding in little sparkly hints into these pastes. Or maybe it's not glitters, maybe it is your gilding flakes that you're going to add in, or maybe it's doing a bit of this to get the mica shimmer and then adding in a little pop, little dash of something like our enchanted sprinkles. Everything we do mixes and matches to create brand new unique combinations. This one is the white pearl mixed in with a clear. So if depending on the light, doesn't look white, but we give that a little wiggle, can we see that white come through? Now that's really classy and lovely, but you think about doing that for our snow stencil as a nice background for Rodney. Or you think about bringing this in with our cloud stencil for a lovely night sky effect. That's going to look cool, isn't it? I was well impressed with that. Thought that earlier. Come in here, found my little cloud stencil. I was like, that would look really lovely. Just quickly, we've got all of the 6 shades done in the same way. So all clear texture paste, 3 pumps of this. I feel like I work in Starbucks. 3 pumps of this, 3 pumps of that, and I love a spice latte. But it's kind of that effect. Mixing and matching to create something new, which is what it's all about. Mixing that in, different product. To me, that makes me happy because it means when I buy this, having just got this, I've got this, and I've got all of the different combinations of things I can be doing with it. Maybe I'm going to firework off my enchanted sprinkles with one of these to create a completely different look. Don't forget your enchanted sprinkles will react to anything wet, so it doesn't always have to be water. So we bring these in, we're going to end up with a different effect than we would do to if we just added in water. Okay, that completes all of our new goodies. So we have got 4 new stamps with dies in the Rodney family. We've got the 2 snowflake frames, circle and square. We've got the winter scene set. We've got the 6 mica mists, and we've got the paper pad. They're all of your brand new exclusive items that are going to be launching on Hobby Maker on Monday at 2 PM and 5 PM. And then after then, they will become available from our stockists around the world. But as I mentioned earlier, you might feel different. You might be with me, you might be not with me. Let us know in the comments. But I don't think this is going to last long. I have a feeling that you're going to have fallen in love with Rodney as much as I have. And if you haven't yet, shall we look through some samples? Because I think that's going to really tip the balance because we've got endless samples. Just to check in with Peter, do we have any questions about anything before we start sample overload?
No, I don't think so. A couple have asked when they're for sale. Someone else, Sheila, asked about if we have a purple mica spritzer.
Not yet, Sheila?
Not
yet? Not yet? Maybe later, but not yet. Getting the eyes from Peter, so I can't say no more, but not yet. You know us, we don't tend to stop at one product. If I get it and I fall in love with it, we tend to add to the collection, so just keep an eye out. Maybe. Okay, I'm going to show you this as well. This isn't new. Not new at all, but something I fell in love with, and I have a feeling when we bring this to you on Monday, and I might be wrong because I know nothing, but I have a feeling on Monday you might fall in love with this as well. So I'm going to share this with you now, because I think if you're writing your shopping lists for Monday's shows, this is going to be on the shows, and I've really truly fallen in love with it. And I think it's got so many purposes that are so fun. So we are looking at the Typewriter die set by Sue Wilson. And this is the Typewriter Grid Alphabet. The recommended retail price for this set is $17.99. It is one big die that has all of your alphabet on it and some punctuation and your numbers, and then some plain circles. And when I see this, I've kind of known about this die for a while, being honest with you. And I was like, I just don't know. I don't know. And then I got it and I was playing with it and I was thinking maybe we could turn it into one of our die of the weeks, one of our features of the week. And then I absolutely, truthfully fell in love with it. Because of not only does it cut all of the discs out with your complete alphabet, And not only does it deboss, and then we're going to try and get that so you can see them. There we are. Deboss into them. All of the letters and the numbers. You get this. You get this jolly great big background die that opens up a whole world of possibilities. And I have fallen in love with that. Forget that. I'm happy to pay my $17.99 for this bit. But actually bringing in the alphabet, even better. Now, if you're wondering why is he so enthusiastic about what looks like a grid, have a look at that. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that so much fun? Now, you know from our dot dies, and these are quite big elements. Let's give you a little measure of these. These little tokeny sort of, where are we going? Used to a rule, we flip. Half inch-ish, good technical term. Yeah, half inch per disc. So they're much bigger than our dies to dots. So we're looking at about 12.5 mil. They stop at 6 mil, so double the size of those. So quite a big dot, and you've got them in plain. So when we bought you the dies to dot dies, that's what I'm saying, dies to dot dies that did the dots, and we did the grids where we paper pieced the dots back into the grids. You could do the same with this, is what I'm telling you. All of these bits along here, you could put them back in. And I did say, and I said this to my mum, and she was like, I don't know if anyone's going to know what you're on about anymore, Jamie. You could turn that into a Connect 4.
That's literally what Sarah's just said.
You could though, couldn't you?
Yeah.
And I was going to do it, but I've run out of time. But doesn't it look like a Connect 4 grid? So if you've got somebody who's, you know, on my wavelength for Connect 4, then absolutely cut them in different colours, Connect 4. But of course, you've also got all of the alphabets you can work with. Also,
how's it go? You love it.
I love
anyone tuning in now that haven't seen the rest of the show, they'll be like,
oh, people must just wonder what goes on here. They're used to creative expressions being this very polished, professional. Sue stands there looking like, you know, the goddess that she is. And then we come along and you've got duff, and snowmen that are getting it on. It's all a bit random, isn't it? It's a bit bizarre. So, okay, our background. One of the other bits we love with this, talking about snowmen, is how we can overlap it. So in the middles of our grids, we can drop shadow to create that coal effect. So again, if you're looking at this and thinking, can we layer, can we drop shadow, can we? Absolutely yes, and that's how it's going to look for you, to give you a little bit of a glimpse and an idea. But the little discs, you're going to see these through several of my samples. So we'll move on and we'll show you lots and lots and lots of samples because there is loads to go through and I just keep waffling. So let's show you some inspiration. We'll do these relatively quickly because if we don't, we're going to be here forever because our DT have done incredible and we've got loads to talk about. So this is starting off with our darling Rodney, showing you him in the frame. Background papers attacked with the misters to give them that lovely mottled and shiny effect. If you can see that, isn't that beautiful? So that's the white of the misters being used there over the printed papers or the paper pack. Bringing in Mr. and Mrs. Rodney, showing you those together. I have officially married them off, they don't have to be married. Then we've of course got Rodney here, throwing the snowball down to Riley. So Riley's under attack there. Beautiful card. This one's done by Wendy. This one's lovely as well. This one is done by Lynn. So again, we've got Rodney and Riley having a little fight in with the actual birds. Poor little birds, like angry birds, isn't it? Ducking the snowballs. Then we have got another card that I've created and we have brought in Rebecca and Rodney and we've got the sleigh as well and the presents and the snowballs all nested inside the circular frame. We have one here by Laura. Look at this lovely card. This one's done by Laura. Laura is one of our brand new design team members who, if she's watching tonight, is probably wondering what she's got herself into. Her and Siobhan are possibly wondering how do they let us know that they're leaving the DT because we are absolutely bonkers. But it's lovely to have their cards with us while they're still here. So this one's done by Laura, and as you can see, beautiful circular stamping with sentiments and snowballs, and the sort of throwing snowball, and then topped off in the corners with the snowball piles. Then we've got another one here by Laura, bringing in the winter scene in the background, the snowballs, and of course Rodney. This one's cool. This one again done by Laura. This one's got some lovely little shaker elements in there too, which matching, of course, with the idea that Rodney's having a little snowball fight, which is really, really lovely to see. Then we're going to have a little look at this one. This one's done by Sharon. Sharon's brought in our dies to dot in the background, which works really nicely too. So our big snowflake with the dots on it as well. Again, using that frame slightly differently because Sharon's built up on the top of it. You might also notice how Sharon's used the mica mists over Mr. and Mrs. Rodney so that they've got a bit of a sheen to them, which looks really, really lovely. Then one done here by Ian, and I really love this one. Ian's taken the snowball fight snowball and he's trimmed off the edge and he's put that around the little window. He's sunk into it dreaming of a white Christmas, which is one of the sentiments we brought out a little while back. He's brought in the tree from the scenes, and of course he's topped all of that off on the papers. A couple more here from Laura, where she's brought in Rodney and Rebecca for this one, and then a lovely wooden plaque. I love this because it means that we're taking it from cards into decorations. So this is one of our MDF plaques that Laura has decorated again with Rodney on there, and using "You're hoping you're not on the naughty list" sentiment at the top. Again, using our circular snowflake frame over the MDF. Doesn't that fit perfectly? We've got just that little edge around the side here. This is our gemstones texture paste being used to cover the MDF as well, so that we get that beautiful sparkle coming through. So just a quick fire round there of a few of the samples from Rodney.
No pressure, but our lovely Gwen is watching.
Oh, Gwen's with us
Hi, Gwen.
too. Oh, Gwen, we're nowhere near as good as you are, bless you. And I should imagine they're all looking at this thinking, come back off your holiday, Gwen. Come and rescue us. Jamie's on a different planet today and we need you back. We do actually, but I do hope sincerely you're having a lovely time. We have had little chats, haven't we? So I know you're all's going well. But it's lovely to have you with us this evening. Even on holiday, she's still joining us. That is dedication, isn't it?
Bless her.
True dedication.
Yeah.
So few samples here with our lovely Rebecca, whether we're going vintage and small, whether we're going to go for this beautiful embossed background, whether we're going to create a lovely little scene that opens up to reveal Mr. and Mrs. Christmas. Now I love this because these cheeky little elves, and this is actually something really worth mentioning, how well all of these collections work together. They're designed to fit, they're designed to coordinate, they're designed to be with each other. So if perhaps you do already own Mr. and Mrs. Christmas and you've got them cheeky little elves, or of course Mr. and Mrs. Christmas, or maybe the Santa Please Stop Here sign, or the sack of presents, or the other present, they're all going to come together and work perfectly with Rodney's family to make it nice and simple for you to create with. Now you can see with these ones, these did officially come out before the idea that we were going bronze. We've still got these, they're still available. So if you haven't already got Mr. and Mrs. Christmas, they are again $19.99 per set, and they are available from a lot of our stockists around the world, to be fair. So Father Christmas, Mrs. Christmas, and don't forget with Mrs. Christmas, you get those cheeky little elves. But they are going to work perfectly with Rodney's family. Another one here using our lovely Rebecca, done by Ian. Ian's done some beautiful octagon cards using our mats and layer dies to build up with. He's brought in that beautiful fern as well to make this big swish on the corner that looks really lovely. Another one here from Ian where he's taken Rebecca and he's popped her onto some tags. So plain tags and scalloped using the corner, which actually comes in with a kaleidoscope Christmas set that you can see here in the edges, and then adding in a couple of other pieces as well as our papers. This one's really lovely. This one's done by Laura, and she's gone for a kind of softer tone. I really like the pink being added in, softens it down slightly to go with the blues. So it's really, really nice. Ian's taken our presents off in a very elegant fashion in this black and gold kind of colour scheme. I can see here he's used our mica mists over the black card to give us that beautiful golden halo. But doesn't this show, I know he's gone for a Christmas sentiment, but doesn't it just show how nicely these could be all year round for different occasions? Lovely one here done by Sharon, I believe, using some stamps around the frame that come with Rodney's set. And then again, we've got Rebecca, but we've actually gone for the lovely little sleigh here, which comes with Riley, I'm going to say, but it might be Rosie. Riley, of course. This is cool. Again, this one is done by Laura. We've got a little oval card here, and we've got our Rebecca stood in the front with her presents behind her and the papers behind that. Then we move on and we've got one by Sharon, again showing us how we can be using those presents without having to use all of the snow people if we don't wish to. And I thought that looked really lovely. She's also done a slightly smaller one and made it look like a present itself on the actual card, and then added on the presents on the front there. So just showing once again, we don't have to always use all of the components to make it a set that we rely on time after time. Then we move on and we will have a little look at Rosie. So Rosie's set. Now, again, we call her Rosie, but you know, it doesn't have to be Rosie. Could be Rodney, could be Rebecca, could be any name you want to attach to them. Why do I only ever stick to our names? I don't know what that's all about. But definitely could be taken off onto a different tangent. These letters, if you couldn't see the emboss work when we showed you the sample board a little while ago for the alphabet, can you see how lovely they look here in Miricard? Now, of course, on our sample boards, we always do our sample boards in white, so you hopefully can see them, but it doesn't always show the embossing or debossing quite so well. This is so deep that if you want to rub inks over the top of it, and you're going to get to see this soon, that's going to give you two-tone effects, which works really nicely. These characters inside these frames, again, dimensionally fit brilliantly. You might have wanted to add more into that one if you wanted to, but I was quite happy with Ben, and of course, adding on our little character. Making our multi-fold cards for this collection works beautifully too. So whether we're bringing in those background papers or making our own, we're going to be able to make our 3D projects that stand and give us such depth and prominence really easily. So you're going to see the winter scene elements being used through here. You've got the North Pole sign, you've got the presents, you've got some of the sentiments, you've got that lovely birdhouse as well, all coming together throughout the different pages on our 3D project. Now this is lovely, and you might already be ahead of us in the comments and wondering, can I use them all together? Absolutely, of course you can. They will work beautifully as a family. That's what they're designed to do, that's what they're going to do. This one's done by Lynn, and I love the way she's coloured all of the scarves differently to give them their own personalities. Another one here by Lynn, taking on Rebecca and Rosie, to give us that looking kind of set, looking at each other that way. And you'll see some of the enchanted sprinkles in the background, some of our die cut snowflakes behind that. This is one I've done, and I've actually taken the circular frame and cut it off the edge of the card and then put some acetate in there to give it some support. Placed our character here on the front, matching paper behind, and then on the insert of the card too. Just making sure that everything coordinates and runs throughout the project. Another one here that I did, very clean and simple, very quick and easy, more than clean and simple, but very quick and easy. Just bringing in our character, stamping and colouring and adding him onto that scene, or her onto that scene, sorry. Diane's done very similar in kind of the idea, but absolutely taking it one step further as Diane does. Incredible crafter. Diane has actually taken our character, added on some of our gemstones glitter, added in the little cheeky cheeks, and of course added all of this on top of a die cut tag shaker element, and then placed our snowflakes inside that window, which is just so beautiful. Really does kind of show you how you can plus this and take it to the next level, and showing you how these papers are going to layer together beautifully. There are 4 different papers used throughout those layers, but yet nothing jars, does it? Everything works together, everything looks elegant, and that's what we need it to do. Then we have a little look here, and we've got another one to share with you. This one is by Laura, showing you again another little scene that's been created. Another one here by Diane. This is beautiful. Look at that beautiful, intense, enchanted sprinkles. Sprinkles? Sprinkles? What's a springle? Is that like Pringles and sprinkles mixed together? Don't do that. That's not good. That's not healthy. But yeah, sprinkles added onto this one, and I believe she's put some glue out over Miricard and painted them or created her enchanted sprinkles over the top of them, and then added in some gemstones glitter, some of our diamond white to give that really cool metallic-y glittery finish. Very, very pretty. And again, teaming in the frame, cutting out the middle, adding in the birdhouse, and then popping our character on the side. This one's lovely. This one's done by Ian. So Ian has created a little movie card, little slider card, which I thought was really, really cute. He's going somewhere, isn't he? I've got to go a bit slower. It's going to feel a bit seasick with me in charge. But what a lovely way to add in that kinetic energy. And then another one here from Laura. Again, I love Laura's colouring. We're so lucky with our design team, the way that they add such different styles and colours to their projects. But Laura does this soft, muted colouring so beautifully. I really like the way that that's sort of been brought together to give that effect. Very, very lovely.
Yeah, so lovely. Kathleen was asking, she said she's storing a Cuddly Clown Christmas stamps in like homemade DL, roughly DL size cello bags. I'm wondering if they'd fit in commercial DL cello bags.
The
The
characters
actual
fit in
stamps,
bags.
would they fit in the DL bags?
They absolutely
so I
would.
thought I would whip in and
Yes, they absolutely would.
do my supermarket sweep grab to the warehouse.
I'm very impressed. So, how do we get into these? Let's show you a cello bag and a DL company bought packet. These ones are Craft UK Limited, to give you an idea. Size wise, that is a lovely Riley. Can you see that? Okay, I hope, yeah, you probably can see that, can't you? So yeah, dimensionally wise, absolutely fine. If I'm guessing we're talking width, not height, so perfectly fine there for that one. If we come over here to Rosie, Rosie again is our widest, but yet fits perfectly fine in there. Let's have a little look at, oh,
I don't know if that's
is it that you mean?
possibly. I
Oh, I don't know,
maybe
might
that's
be.
how
Okay, does the
Kathleen's storing
stamps
them.
fit inside them? If that's the question, we're thinking storage for our stamps, then they fit perfectly as well. If that helps, that could be sealed off.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
If we haven't covered the question, then yeah, we'll go back. But the characters themselves, if you're thinking, can I do that on a DL card and will it fit in a bag? Absolutely. We'll give that back to Pete. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so with this one's slightly different actually. I don't know where I got this from, so we'll talk about it while it's here. This one is our paper, and over the top of it, I've used our clear texture paste, and I've applied it with a brayer to give you a slightly different look. We're going to hopefully demo this one on Hobby Maker on Monday, just because I thought it would be really nice to show you that. But this is what I love about papers. Just because if you've purchased your paper in a paper pack, sometimes I think we feel we can't add more to them or we can't do more to them. I really want to encourage you can, and don't be afraid. So maybe it's adding enchanted sprinkles, maybe it's adding in glitters, maybe it's adding in texture paste, maybe it's adding in the mica mists. Whatever it is you want to experiment with, give it a go. And if you're not too sure, when you have made a card and you haven't added to the papers and you've got that little off-cut bit, play with that and see what colours work with it and what covers it up. And do you lose too much of the background? Because if so, don't do it. But if it doesn't, then work with it. I did one background with the copper mica mister, and it was too intense, and I lost my snowflakes. But don't fear. All that means, add some water, blot away, and we can take that back. So even if you think you've gone too far sometimes, there's ways in which we can kind of steer the ship back in the right direction. But texture paste and a brayer or a palette knife and sort of patting it gives that really lovely, like cracked, frosty kind of vibe to it. And it adds a bit of a sheen. So that can work really nicely if you're looking for a way to plus your backgrounds. Okay, moving on to Riley. So Riley, very similar here again, and another one I want to demo at some stage. Printed paper, clear texture paste, applied with a brayer, but in with it, a couple of pumps of our lovely blue from our mica mists. So that's the Ocean Pearl. And that again is really taken that paper and sort of darkened it down a bit, give it that frosty vibe, that lovely cracked frosty feel to the top of the paper. Then I've added on our characters over the top of that. Now this is lovely. This one's done by Lynn. Lynn has brought in Father Christmas and the elves and popped them in here with our lovely Riley. Riley again on this one, using one of our stencils in the background. Riley here appearing in a little window. Some of the elements from Riley don't have to necessarily be Christmas. This could be a new baby girl. We've just had our new great niece arrive here, haven't we, Pete?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of where this card was kind of inspired by. Her name is not Len, but Len is the letters I had available at the time. Her name is Ivy, but you will see Ivy feature on a project shortly. But it's kind of showing you how we can colour over the top of these discs, little tabs, and get that two-tone effect. That was actually with an alcohol marker. So if you're thinking, well, I don't have ink pads that are going to glide over the top, I just literally used the chunky end of an alcohol marker and went over the top of it, and it still left the letter debossed in another colour. This one's lovely, done by Diane, showing you little windows or little panels created and then built up on top of. Another one here, oh, this one's lovely. Our first card I'm sharing with you done by Siobhan. Again, Siobhan is one of our new members here on our DT. And again, Siobhan brings a whole new world of style to what we create and what we bring to share with you. And I love the way that she's created this little pop of pink, that kind of snow globe-esque look of a pinky night sky, and then added on our lovely Riley in the front there. I thought that was so soft and delicate, and dare I say it, expensive looking. This is one of those cards I would expect to pay a premium for. It's got that classy, elegant look to it. And I really love that. I've got a few to share with you from Siobhan. Just full disclosure, our DT, being honest, our new members, Laura and Siobhan were added, and they're kind of here for a bit of a mission. I'm not allowed to tell you much about that. I'll get the eyes from the left, so I'll be careful in what I say. But they're here on a bit of a mission, and I said to them, before you start your mission, do you want to play with Rodney's family? Because if you do, we'll make sure you've got Rodney's family. But I don't expect you to have anything done for our launch or for our shows, because you've literally got a few days, and I mean a few days to play. Both of them shocked the socks off of me and have sent us some beautiful examples to share with you. And I think that A, shows how dedicated they are as a team, and B, shares with you how excited they were to get to play with Rodney, to manage to get it, play with it, and post it back or get it back to us all in time to be able to bring it to you tonight. Huge congratulations and thank you. It again is why our team is so incredible and why we can never say thank you enough. So on to our next project. This one is done by Ian, and Ian's taken sort of the offcuts of his paper and stripped them together over his background and then built up his characters, which I thought was really, really cool. Laura's brought in our little scene here and added it onto our papers once again to build up that effect. Another one here with Ian's creations. Again, background paper, really setting that off. And this is what I love about papers, especially if you're possibly new to working with stamping and die cutting and characters. Sometimes having a character on its own can be slightly daunting, because I know that I'm not going to find a snowman just in the middle of my house or I don't know, in a strange place. He's going to need a background. He's going to need to sell the scene. He's going to need to belong in that scene. And I might not have all of the bits to set the scene in the background, but that paper's done all of that heavy lifting for me, because all I had to do then is bring in the character and put him on the front, and that's all done. Where if I didn't have that paper and I was left with this character, I'm going to have to create hills, I'm going to have to bring in trees, I'm going to have to put in a sky, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it's brilliant if we can. And this might not mean that we can't do it, it might mean that the person we're sending the card to, we don't quite want to go to that effort for, or maybe we don't have the time, or maybe we're batch selling or batch making to sell for charity, and we want quick, easy cards that we can sort of do our best with and bring in as many pennies for that charity as possible. And to me, that's where papers can come in really handy. And I think Ian shows here how beautiful background gave him the time to work and create that beautiful character. And you look at Ian's colouring, it's beautiful, it's so elegant. And the way he's added that blue frosting around the snowman matches in perfectly with the shades that we've got in that background paper. So that's where he's chose to spend his time, because he didn't have to spend it on the background. And I think that's a really lovely kind of thing to point out sometimes and to share with you. Another one here by Laura. Love this tree scene, so elegant, and I love the way it looks like Riley is looking at the tree in all of those twinkling lights. Another one here from Sharon. Sharon again has kind of brought in one of our characters. I think this is Rodney. It is Rodney, isn't it? She's brought in Rodney and she's trimmed him down so that we've just got Rodney's head appearing from behind the parcels, which puts him more level and in line with Riley. And then we've got Riley here on the side. Then we've got a lovely one here, again done by Sharon. Sharon's brought in the papers, she's brought in the scene die, and then she's added on Riley onto the side. And then another one here, this one done again by Sharon. This time Sharon has brought in our lovely Riley and Rosie and put them both together on that frame with the papers and our lovely, what's the snow stencil called, Pete? Falling snow? Snow something?
Snow flurry.
Snow flurry. I can never remember the name of that one, can I? It's one of the things I have a bit of a block with. So I'll pop these ones back in the box. Just a few hundred more to go. Honestly, we are so lucky, and I hope you enjoy seeing all of these. I hope I'm not sending you to sleep. But to me, I always think it's a really good time when we're talking about sneaky peeks to show you all of the inspiration that we can, because of this is our moment to really make sure you see all of what we've got to give you and kind of inspire you with, in the hope that it kind of makes up your mind. You might look at it and go, do you know what, that isn't a collection I need. but it might also mean that you look at it and think, well, actually, yeah, I really don't want to miss out on that. And to me, that's why if I share loads of cards with you, loads of samples with you, it hopefully helps you make up your mind. With this one, we are looking at our snowflake frame. This is our square snowflake frame, but as you can see, great for trimming as borders. So I've trimmed off the top and the bottom and popped them into a rectangle instead. Just because it's a square doesn't mean it has to stay as a square. Think about taking this and turning it into corners. Think about taking this and using it as a border. Think about snipping it out of small individual elements, or of course, using the small elements that come within it. Ignore that this card is here. That's not the right place for this card. We'll come back to that one on the next one. Oh, actually, I've got my boxes round the wrong way. Give me a second. We're switching boxes. Oh, I've gone rogue, Pete. Gone proper rogue.
Gwen wouldn't have gone rogue.
Gwen wouldn't have gone rogue. Gwen's a pro. So here's one by Wendy, bringing in those snowflakes, adding on the poinsettias. Looks very lovely. Another one here by Wendy where she's used our diamond white gemstones texture paste for our snowflake stencil. Great background to go with the snowflake frame, and then adding on our lovely Rodney this time, and then added in some wordies as well. This one's lovely again, done by Wendy, bringing in that frame. You can see Wendy liked the frame, can't we? And that's what we love, because there we've got one crafter, 3 completely different looks. I love that when this happens, because it shows that Wendy really liked that, and it shows you 3 different ways in which you're going to be able to take this frame, build it up and create unique looks. One that I've done here, using the frame again with some of our white glitters from our gemstones. This is actually, if Gwen's with us, I'm going to give a shout out to Gwen. This is Gwen's technique. This is using the frame. I've not seen this technique. This is using the frame, but instead of die cutting it, I've sent it through with a rubber mat and I've embossed it. Once I'd embossed it, I've come in with our metallic waxes and I've highlighted all of that embossing going around the edge. Then I've brought in the big giant snowflake, which comes to you in the circle die set that we'll look at in a moment, and put that in the middle. Those little snowflakes, they're rather darling. Look at this. Isn't this luxury? Again, when we're talking about expensive cards, doesn't that look like it's going to cost a fortune? This one again is done by lovely Diane. Diane has misted over the back using mica mists, and then she has die cut all of these individual snowflakes and built them up into this wreath, and then brought in our reindeers and our little sentiment. I thought that was very, very luxury. This is gorgeous. This is Emma's. So this is Emma Kemp on our DT. Now, I don't know if I've called out any Emma Kemp cards yet. That's a mouthful. If we spoke about Emma this evening, I don't think we have.
I don't think so. No.
And there's a reason for that. Emma is the lady who does all of our videos for us. So a lot of her cards stay with Emma. So she's filmed them and edited them, and then she sends them up to us. It's a bit of a delay. Emma's loved this collection so much that she wanted to make sure for this evening I had some Emma cards to share with you. And this is also really lovely because it means I can tell you videos are coming. So if you like the look of that one and you want to know more about it, keep an eye out for Emma's video. Another one done here by Emma. Again, drop shadow in that silver and white to make that beautiful frame, and then building the scene. This is gorgeous. This one's done by Diane. Now I'm going to let you into a little secret here. Diane has created this beautiful window, this beautiful deep window. Doesn't that look beautiful? Isn't that cool? Do you want to know what Diane's used to make that? The ring that comes in the middle of our foam tape. This cardboard ring, Diane said, I couldn't part with them. I had to use them. So I've made my window out of them. I love that. That is recycling at its best. It's strong, it's secure, and it gives depth to build up on the inside of. And you look at that and you would never guess any recycling had been done. It looks like pure luxury and elegance. Thought that was really cool. Then we move on, and we've got one here by Ian. Ian's made a little shaker card, little shaker with some snow in there, with snowflakes being dotted around the edges. This one's cool again, done by Ian. Ian's taken that snowflake frame, because we're looking at the square, don't forget, and he's trimmed it down to make corner elements to go on his DL card. So again, don't just look at it as one big panel. Think of all of the things you can be snipping into this and working with, or using those smaller snowflakes like Laura has to make a beautiful effect there. Or like this time, Laura's brought in the frame and the individual snowflakes and hung them down like little baubles on a string. Thought that was cool. Nice look. Okay, should we look at the circle? How are we doing? Are they all still with us? Have we sent them all to sleep, do you reckon?
No,
Dave?
pretty much all still there.
Very, very good. Very, very good. Have they all still been telling us which issue number the magazine is?
No, they've gone quiet on that.
Have they? Don't forget, if you'd like to win the signed magazine issue that we were talking about at the very beginning of the live, all you need to do is tell us what the issue number is, and Pete will pick one lucky winner to have that posted out to them. Now, this card is a bit of a wow, isn't it? Isn't that cool? I love a white work card. I love an easel. You bring the two together, what do we have? We've got magic. And this is magic created by Wendy. And you can see that Wendy has brought in our poinsettia. She's brought in our ferns. She's brought in that beautiful snowflake circular frame and the winter frame as well. Now, I gave you a bit of a glimpse at this card a moment ago. This is, of course, the big snowflake that's come out of the centre. Another beautiful one here from Wendy, where she's used that big circular frame and then added on these extra additions and popped in the middle there, and Merry Christmas. That came out last year, but is still, of course, available. Another one Wendy's done here, where she's built up beautiful poinsettias, and I love the way she's added those little snowflakes into the flowers. So they're coming out from in the flowers as a little floral display. Wendy is big in floristry. She's done floristry for a lot of years, and it's little touches like this coming out of the flowers that really make me think of beautiful floral displays. And I think that is such a lovely thing, that we can kind of take inspiration from Wendy's creations and add these little components into our floral displays and get that real look of elegance. Another clever thought Wendy's had. Now, this is cool. When we cut the circle, we have this big panel fall out from the middle of it. When we cut the big snowflake, we have that part left around the edges of the waist. So Wendy's cut the big circle and the big snowflake all at once to create that frame, that frosty looking frame. Thought that was a really good use of that panel and a really lovely way to bring that in, and it's still got that frosty snowflakey feel. Lynn has created this beautiful card, again bringing in our traditional poinsettia. Looking to Pete, is that called a traditional point? It was called a traditional point. Yes, it is.
The most recent one.
The moment of panic has gone.
Yep.
It was traditional poinsettia. This is the one that we brought out last month. Again, corners come from the kaleidoscope set, and of course, one of our big sentiments. Now, this is all, again, beautiful. Created by Lynn. We've got the snowflake corners. This was our second release, going way back to last year, being cut here into the mason layer here with the scallop squares. Then she's brought in the snowflake circle. Don't they work well together? This is what we always go on about. Can we bring things from last year back to this year? Can we bring them forward to next year, the year after? That's what we are truly aiming to do, because we want you to get more use, more value for money, more ability out of products you've possibly already had or purchased, and been able to build up bigger scenes with them. But I would be a fool not to mention this beautiful Aurora Borealis, which I've probably just murdered the pronunciation of, skyline.
Spot on.
Was that good, was it?
That was good.
Did I get a tick?
It'd be a gold star on that.
Gold star? I'll take the gold star. Thank you very much. This is stunning, isn't it? This is created with our enchanted sprinkles. You're going to see another one of these on a tag shortly, I believe, by Laura. But it's lovely to see how our DT have had the same thought and done that incredible technique to give you that glow in the background. Now, this one we're going to whisk past quickly. This is one that I did. There's something on that isn't released yet. We're not going to talk about it. We're just going to whisk past it, and I'm not going to tell you about it. But it does show you the scene. We're then going to bring this one in. This one's done by Siobhan. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't this again look very, very, very expensive, luxurious, just stunning? Again, we've got the snowflake. We've put that onto a self-adhesive sheet. We've put through our glitter. That's our Larry Marr Gemstones glitter to create that beautiful, massive snowflake ring that's running around the scene, and then built up that scene in the middle. And isn't that a glorious scene? The way that she's coloured that and built that up, stunning. Moving on to Ian's creation. How cool is this? Ian has brought in our mica mists. He has made a 3D snowflake with that big snowflake out of the middle of the snowflake frame, and he's put it onto a little rocker card, which just looks absolutely stunning. Very modern, very cool. Could have been done in lots of different colourways, but actually that silver, black, white colour scheme, that makes my heart happy. I really like that. Then we go on to one done by Diane. Now Diane's been very clever here. She has brought in that big snowflake central part here. She's coloured in the middle of it different to the outside of it. So we get that two-tone effect. She's used the same colours with the enchanted sprinkles to make up the background. And then she's glued on top the snowflakes, the loose snowflakes, and even added that little hexagony bit that's come out of the middle, which I thought was really, really lovely. Another one here done by Diane, and this is gorgeous. Look at this. Isn't that lovely? So this one is bringing in Rebecca, doing that beautiful pink and green colour scheme, adding in our gemstones glitter in our pink sapphire to give a true, sparkly, very beautiful Christmassy effect. Then we move on to another one by Ian. Ian has created, using, I believe, our picket fence set to make these like lollipop stick bases. He's then built that up to look like a snow globe, which I thought was very clever, very cool. And then, of course, in the snow globe, added our scene. Now, the last one from this set to give you a little glimpse at, this one's done by Sharon. Sharon's gone for an off-the-edge matte and layer decal circle card. And then she's added onto the front our circular frame and our winter scene. And, of course, our dreaming of a white Christmas sentiment. Love that. Love a white work card. It's beautiful. Oh, my last one. I didn't put it in the box because I didn't want to get damaged. Laura has created a little bauble. How cute is this? So using the circular dies, plain circles, and then she's used the big snowflake and popped it on the top. Now I love this. This could have lots of different pieces added into it. You could do about 8 of them if you wanted to, or you could keep it quite simple and just go for a few. You could certainly bling it up in lots of different blings. You could do different colours in different sections. You could add in some glitter if you wanted to. And of course you could make these to whatever colour scheme you want to do for your Christmas tree this year. I love making Christmas baubles and decorations because to me they're something that can come out year after year and it's just beautiful. Now our last die set I want to share with you sample wise, and this is lovely. This one's done by Wendy. This is our scene set. So we are looking at this set here, the winter scene. So 6 dies in this set. As you can see, lots of different components. When we start building these up, look at these. This one's done by Lynn. So Lynn has gone full out with her scene. She's again done that Aurora Borealis sort of night sky, but this time on dark cardstock. This is lovely, again by Lynn. Lynn has created this little scene with all of the robins coming out of the little birdhouse and flying into the trees.
Some eagle eyes tonight, James.
Why? What have they spotted? What have they seen? What do they know? What do they know that I don't know?
Kim's just a lovely Kim, dear. Hi, Kim. We haven't had pub chat for a while, Kim.
We haven't had pub chat. Maybe you made her feel conscious.
Just 2 words. She's just put brick wall question mark.
Brick wall. Brick wall. Brick wall.
He's gone quiet.
I know nothing.
No?
I know nothing. I wouldn't have had a stencil that was possibly going to be part of this collection that I made some cards with, and then somebody said it couldn't be part of this collection. That wouldn't have happened.
Who said that? Am I getting the blame for this?
Would you get the blame? Would you get the blame?
Who's get the blame?
Would you get the blame? I think if we give you the blame, maybe we give you a star.
I'm not having one of them stars.
I feel like,
I'm not having one of them as naughty. Don't bring the camera on me.
just if
Or is
Pete
it
was
on you?
responsible for the fact that the brick wall may not be here just yet, does that mean he gets a star? You
No.
decide. Who is it that does the you decide bit? What
You
TV show is that?
decide.
You decide. What is that?
I can't think.
Come on, you're going to have to help us.
Help.
Who's the you decide? Is it Big
We're
Brother?
back to Debbie.
No, it's not Debbie McGee.
No, it's not.
It's got to be, it's like a talent show, isn't it? Is it Big Brother or X
Who
Factor?
wins? You.
Who
yeah,
wins?
Big,
You
must be
decide.
Big Brother.
It is Big Brother. It's
Big
Big
Brother,
Brother.
isn't
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Anyway.
So does Pete get a star? You decide. We really need to stop these lives. We really need to. This one's Diane's. Again, lovely monochromatic style here. Beautiful cardigan done by Ian, building that kind of window snow globe effect. Another one here by Ian, going very vintage, very elegant. Love that. This is gorgeous. I've got a few that I've hooked out here. This is lovely. Look at this one. Again, wooden tag done by Laura, building up that scene, creating that incredible sky behind it, and then building the scene in front of it. I fell in love with this. I said to Laura, genuinely, if I was out shopping in a posh shop and I see this, I would buy it. I'd have to buy it. I would. I'd have to have it. You're chuckling. Does this
Kim.
mean that they've agreed that you need a star?
Well, Sharon, we need to have words. She says star for Pete, but it could be a gold star. So I'm going to take the gold star.
Oh, I don't mind what colour the
but
star
Kim
is. If
said-
it's going on the chart, it's a negative,
No,
Sharon.
it's
That's
not.
it.
Kim says if Pete gets a star for that, Jamie should get one for using it. I very much agree.
Kim,
I know.
you're meant to be on my side, Kim.
Yeah.
I need the help, Kim. Don't leave me. Okay, we're just flicking through some of these while we kind of go off the rails. This one again done by Sharon. Sharon's done that lovely night sky effect as well. Isn't it gorgeous when they kind of bring that in? I've not attempted this. I need to do this. Isn't it lovely? This one's lovely. This one's done by Ian, bringing it into one of our foiled inkable frames. Then we've got another little wooden tag here created by Sharon, building up again with our snow and then our scene in the front there. And then a couple more. These are our last few for this one. This one's done by Ian, and he's created this acetate wraparound with a snowflake frame. Then on the inside, we've got our lovely snow Riley, and a little scene going on there. And we've got the little sleigh as well. And then a couple more to share with you. These ones done by Diane. I love these. Very elegant. Love the craft card being brought into this. Very, very, very luxurious. And there's two of these. Again, this one built up with another one of those foam tape rings. I really like that idea. Thought that was such a great use of those rings. I'm never going to recycle them again. I'm going to keep hold of them because Diane has truly shown how beautiful they could be. And actually, Diane's added it here onto a ribbon to give the look of a bauble. You could so easily double back them maybe if you wanted it to be quite deep, or bring forward that scene and put one behind it and use that ring to be an actual bauble. Very, very cool idea. Very, very cool idea. Love that. Okay, did anybody else agree that you deserve a star, or do we just move on from this quickly?
I think we should move on.
Move on. Yeah, I don't feel like you've had a star on the chart for a while now.
It's good, isn't it?
No, it's not good. No, because at the end of the year, we need to count up who's got the most stars, and then
Well, definitely you.
There will be a forfeit or a reward depending on if I've won or lost. Okay, we move into the last chapter of samples. We're going to have a look at these. These are things that I feel our team have brought together lots of elements from the set to show you how it's going to work together beautifully. So this is Diane's first scrapbook page that I wanted to share with you. And me and Diane was having a bit of a chat about this the other day, about how scrapbooking really is something that's possibly a little bit neglected, and how we both love scrapbooking, and how it's so much fun to be able to bring you some inspiration when it comes to scrapbooking. And this is one of the pages that Diane's created. We have bought you a few pages over the time. Wendy's done quite a few, I've done a few. I think Lynn might have done some. And then I think Diane's done some previously as well. But certainly not as many scrapbook pages as we bring you cards. But scrapbooking is such a lovely hobby. It's your time to kind of shine and create pages that are going to stand the test of time. And I always feel, and this is a little bit selfish, but I can spend a lot longer on a page because a page is for me. A page isn't just going to be given out or potentially sold or raising money for charity. It's something that I want to pass down from generation to generation. So if I spend 6 hours colouring in a snowman to go on that page, do you know what? I'm happy with that. That's good, because that page is going to be the best possible page it can be. And that's why I think I love scrapbooking so much. In a kind of selfish way, because I'm doing crafting for me. I'm not doing it to give it away. I'm not doing it for somebody else. I'm doing it for me. And I love being able to do that and keep those memories and pass those down from generation to generation, which is the time when it isn't about me. It's about knowing that the next generation can pick up my album and see what life was like this year, this moment, that time, that place, that occasion. Because if you look back in time, we don't have to go back many years. You know, I don't know about anybody else, but there's a few TV series we watch. And at different stages we rewatch them. There's one that me and Pete love to watch called Superstore. It's an American series set in a like B&M style store. And every time we rewatch it, we get to about season 6 and it comes up to COVID. And they kind of re-go through the story of COVID. I'm not saying you're going to scrapbook COVID, but it certainly shows how things come along, times change, and we don't always notice they change. And scrapbooking is a great way to keep those memories alive and show the next generation what life was like today, or maybe when you was younger. So to me, it's really important. Another page here done by Diane, and then we go on to a card created by Lynn. Now, these are the ones where I'm bringing them to you to show you how we can bring in all of those characters and all of these components and make them work so well together. Now, I'm going to show you 2 cards from Lynn, and then I'm possibly going to bamboozle you with something that is absolutely incredible. I'm so impressed with this. It's bonkers. Another card created here by Lynn. Now, this comes with a little note, and I don't know where I've put the notes. I'm going to do my best to explain it. But if I do this wrong, I'm sorry, Lynn, but it's so clever. This is a scrapbook album that Lynn has created for Rebecca in Rebecca's life. So Rebecca, of course, is our Rodney's wife snowman, our snow lady. So Rebecca is our character, this character here. So Lynn has made an album of Rebecca's life. Bear that in mind. So on the front here, My Scrapbook Memories by Rebecca. When we start flicking through this, you're going to start to see pictures of the cards I've been sharing with you throughout the evening. So Lynn has taken a photo, she's shrunk it down, and she's put it into Rebecca's album. And then she's journaled, as you would, throughout the pages. This blew my mind. This is so clever and so cool and so much fun. This card here is the picture that we are now looking at in this little window. Isn't that lovely? And then on here, she's got my Rodney, the snowballing champion this year. You rock, being brought in by a wordie. Over this side, do you remember this card I shared with you and said how all the robins were flying out the birdhouse? Again, photographed, shrunk down, put into the album. Little tab, the wildlife in our garden are adorable. As we move through to the next page, you're seeing another one of the cards we shared with you. And on this one, it says Riley and Ted's visit to the North Pole. They bumped into Father Christmas and some cheeky elves. The list was checked and Riley and Ted were not on it. So Santa's naughty list, Riley and Ted are all right, they're not on the list. Then over here, we've got our lovely characters once again. We've got Rosie and, of course, Rebecca. And down here, we've got Christmas shopping with Rosie. A fun day, new skis. I love it. You know that we sort of are into this world of crazy, and I think this is part of it. And it's adorable to see. It is adorable to see these stories come out. Here we've got the card that I shared with you just a few moments ago. And under this one, we've got Last Christmas Eve, all dressed up in our matchy outfit. Rodney wasn't keen, but the children loved it, as did I. So we even wrote from the perspective of Rebecca. Then we've got that beautiful village scene. This one says our little village with a magical moon. And if you look very carefully, you will see someone appearing soon as Father Christmas goes through the sky. Then we move over to our next page. And again, we've got our Aurora Borealis background here, that card that we started off that kind of story with. This is our beautiful home. We're so lucky to have the Aurora Borealis to light up our sky. In the winter months, we are always staring into the sky. Then over here, we've got Rodney's teaching Riley to snowball fight, not sure who's winning. And then we move over to our last page, and we've got Best Dream Ever. I thought that was such a beautiful idea. And you look at all of the hours that Lynn has spent going through this. What a lovely way to document your cards. What a lovely way to make a little album of your cards. What a lovely way to see an album put together that, okay, Lynn's done it from the perspective of Rebecca, but doesn't that give you some inspiration on how that could be your Christmas this year? How this could be your story, or a story book that you're going to make and read to your grandchildren? I just think it's incredible. So let us know in the comments, what do you think? Did that blow your mind as much as it did mine? Because I thought that was amazing. Speaking of amazing, we move on to our little box. Now this is rather cool. I haven't done this up, forgive me Diane, because I knew that I'd struggle to get it open on air because of, you know me, more fingers and thumbs. But in here we have our little box. We've got stamping running all the way around it. And then in the middle of our box, Sorry, my telly's going to turn off. We've been waffling so long, we've hit the time limit. So on here, we've got our little booklet that opens up all throughout. And then on each page, we have a little card in an envelope that you can then fill in and send out. Isn't that lovely? And again, a great way to show how you can take all of your characters and put them together and then give the gift of giving. Give the gift of handmade. Somebody who can take that and use it, whether it be a gift tag, whether it be a card. Speaking of gift tags, we flip over to this side, and in this side, we've got a little pocket so that we've got matching tags created with our papers once again. Everything is thought of, everything is there. Now, if you're making to sell, you know, at Creative Expressions, we allow you to do that as much as you wish to. So why not start putting things like this on your stalls and setting yourself out slightly from a few of the other crafters maybe, and sharing a completely different take. Now this all goes around, ties up to make a beautiful bow on the side, and then goes back into that beautiful box. So every part of this has been thought out, ready to either be sold or to be given as a beautiful gift that can then be handed on in separate formats for many different people. Now another little project I wanted to share with you. This one is again done by Laura. Laura's done this one with Rodney and Rebecca on the outside. And then when we open up to the inside, we've got Riley and Rosie. We've then also got two little pockets. Now in the pockets, you could put little gifts or you could put little gift cards. Now isn't that clever? Perfect size to give the gift card, to give the gift voucher. The bit that we often want to give at Christmas, depending on who we're sending to, but don't just want to give a gift card. We don't just want that card it comes on. We want to give it in a nice, thoughtful way that shows we care. This project is certainly doing that in spades, isn't it? And it shows us how we can build our scenes with our papers and build those characters up to really tell a story. Now another one here by Sharon, doing exactly that, bringing in our characters and setting them out on a little scene to build up to that beautiful effect. Now I believe I'm down to my very last item to share with you. Now I've got this time Baby's First Christmas, and this one is done by Wendy. Wendy has even used a ribbon going down the side here of her spine, and then when we look into the book, we can see here it's open for us to add our photos and add our journaling. So again, scrapbooking, bookmaking, storytelling, this book is going to open up all of those possibilities for you. And again, showing you how having the same frames, but in different shapes, having the same characters, but in different formats, tells a story throughout. Isn't that lovely? Glorious, isn't it? Now, I'd love you to all join me in the comments in saying a huge thank you to our design team, old and new, because I feel like we've gone on forever, but we have just shared with you an incredible amount of inspiration, and an inspiration that's come from a team that you can hopefully see has loved creating with this collection, who's enjoyed creating with this collection, and who has gone way above and beyond what they needed to do to make sure that you as crafters have got every bit of knowledge and ideas that we can possibly share with you from this release. So please do join me in saying a huge thank you to them, because they work so hard to bring us all of this. And now as the company grows, the releases are getting quicker and quicker, and we're bringing in more and more stuff, and yet they're still finding time to fit it in, go the extra mile, and make sure you at home have all of the inspiration that we can possibly bring you. So from me and Pete and the team here, thank you to our DT. Okay, do you think they're still with us and that we've got time to do a demo, Pete?
Maybe squeeze a quick one in.
I think we need a demo, don't we?
A
demo before we let you go. Now, we are going to give away the card that we create tonight. So, what I want to know from you now, and we're going to give you a second competition. This one's to win what we create. The question is, who is your favourite character? Is it Rodney? Is it Rebecca? Is it Riley? Or is it Rosie? Rodney, Rebecca, Rosie, or Riley? That's all I need to know. You can, of course, say all of them. I can't pick. I need them all. Or you could say, I don't like snowmen. And that's fine too. Pete will pick a winner later on, and we will pop this card in the post to you wherever you may be in the world. Okay, shall we show you the card we're going to be doing? We're not going to do a little card. If we're going to only do one, we're going to make sure it's a big card. So we're going to make a little tri-fold card maybe. I never know what to call these. Zigzag card maybe? We'll call it a zigzag card. We're going to do a zigzag card. And we're going to bring in our characters. Now, have they already started telling you who they want to win, or are they asleep?
No, they're very much here.
Good, good, good. I think we've been going for a very long time tonight, longer than we've ever been before, so I apologise.
The telly's never switched off before.
The telly has never switched off, so I'm really impressed that you're still with us, and thank you for your time, thank you for being here. It's lovely to have you with us, and it's lovely to see you enjoy the releases of these collections as much as we do. So let's have a little look and see if we can find the bits we need to make this card. And sorry, I won't lie to you, we've got so much stuff here tonight to go through that my kit's kind of been put to one side. But this is what we're going to be doing. And I want to start off by showing you how well these are going to stamp for you and how easy they are to match up and to be able to use with your dies. So we're going to bring in a stamp press and we're going to anchor this down with some magnets. And we're going to pick a character. Let's go for Rebecca. Let's bring in Rebecca and we're going to stamp her in the middle. Now, of course, you don't have to, but we're going to go slightly wasteful. I'm going to pop her down in the centre. And we're going to go for red. We're going to go for red. Why does she have to be black? We're going to go for red. We're going to use squirrel red because it's the first ink pad I've come to in my drawer. And we're going to give that a good ink in. And we're going to bring that over and stamp that down. I don't know if I've ever seen a red-edged snowman. I'm not convinced that's going to look good, but we'll go with it. We're going to give it another little ink in. I think the ink might be getting a little bit dry, to be honest with you. So we'll give that another little go. Build her up. There we go. I still want a bit more in the mouth. Silhouette areas can be a little bit trickier, so I'm going to add a bit more ink. I'm going to give her a good push down. That's better. Lovely. Okay. And then we're going to pop this off to one side for a second and we're going to bring in the matching die. So all we're going to do with the die is we're going to take this and we're going to line that up over the top. And I'm not going to cut it because you're kind of going to get the idea. But you can see here how that matches perfectly. So we send that through the machine, that's going to cut out for us and it's going to save us having to line anything up or cut round it in any kind of difficult way. Once these have gone through, that's when we can then start bringing in our colours. So I've got one here that I haven't cut out, obviously, but I've got it ready to play. And I'm going to bring in a little paint palette and we're going to go to our misters. So let's bring in a few of these. And we're going to start off with our white. Now these are set for a little while, so we're going to give it a little shake. And we're going to activate that mica once again. Now it's up to you. You can take your lid off and you can mist into your pot, into your well. Of course, being a heat mat, we could work on this if we wanted to, but I don't want you to have to wait to watch me clean up after myself. So we'll do it in a little tray instead. We're then going to bring in a paintbrush. We're just going to dip into this and we're going to come in and we're going to start painting the white of our character, so the white of Rodney. And we can just go all the way around. Now we're painting white on white, but it's that mica we're adding. It's that beautiful pearlescence that once dry is going to give Rodney that beautiful glistening snowy effect that we want to achieve. And that is why I wanted to make sure that we brought you a white in this collection, because it is all about the snow, it is all about the frost, it is all about the Christmas vibes. And I'm hoping that these 6 colours are a great place for us to start to build up our mica mist library, but perfectly fit into the collection we're working with. Now, of course, we could dilute these down. We can mix the shades if we want to, but we do want some blue. So we're going to bring in that lovely ocean blue, ocean pearl, sorry, and we're going to start colouring in around the hat and the scarf. Now, you don't want to watch me do much of this because it's late and we've been chatting for hours. But we're just going to fill in a few areas just so you can see how easy it is to take a mister and suddenly turn it into a paint. Because it's one thing knowing we can mix it in with other items, but it's a different thing to know that actually not only can we cover vast backgrounds with it, we can go in and be really delicate and really precise just by taking it out of the bottle, putting it onto our mat or into a palette and actually painting with it instead. And that's quite lovely, isn't it? That's a nice way to be using our misters. Now, of course, if we want to be misting with them, and we've got a tray here, we've got a tray here. Of course, we can equally come in and mist with them. And they're going to mist beautifully for us. And you might do that over Rodney like this, or you might do it just as a background, or you might do it over a stencil. You might bring in multiple colours and dilute that down. If you go too heavy, you could certainly bring in some water. So I just did some blue and some white. And then I'm going to go a bit more vintage. I'm going to bring in the copper pearl. Now this one's a bit heavier, so I don't want to do too much. I'm going to go slightly higher up, and we're going to mist from a higher distance, so we just get a nice light feel to it. Now, of course, we can leave that to dry as it is, or if we're not happy, and we might do this with just, I don't know, I actually quite like that. I didn't, when I started this, it wasn't about Rodney. I was trying to show you more the bit at the top there to just show you how we could create that. And if you're thinking, well, that's all fine and dandy, but what do I do now about Rodney? Well, if you did it and you didn't like Rodney, die cut a Rodney and stick him on the front there, and you're never going to see that Rodney behind him. But I actually really like that. I'm tempted to show you that we could come in with a piece of paper and blot away to tone that down and pare that back. But I really don't actually want to detract from that because I think it's really nice. So I'm going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to pop it to one side and I'm going to let it dry because I don't want to take that away. I think that would be really lovely. Okay, moving on. We have our components. So we're going to go on to the card part of this. And I'm going to bring these in. I have created a Rebecca. I've created a little present circle. And I have created a Rodney for my project. Now, the I've created is when I'm talking about the original. My little, I came up with a name for him earlier and I forgot it. And I thought it was such a cute name. My little kit creators, but it weren't kit creators. What was it? That's going to bother me now. But our lovely kit makers have made these for us so that we can demo this for you this evening. They are my amazing parents. I'm so lucky my parents make all of my kits for me, and it means that I can bring you lots of inspiration whenever we do a live or we're on TV. So for our card, we're going to take an 8x8 card, and this is a true 8x8 card, not the envelope, the actual card. And we're going to score it at 2 centimetres each time, so 2, 4, 6, giving us 4 equal components that we can then fold back to create our effect. So we're going to go back, forwards, and back again. And what that creates is this step that we're going to be working on. Now we can absolutely leave that as it is. Now if you were doing this properly, I would recommend that you bring in a tool and you burnish your creases so that you get nice strong creases. So just go across them on all directions and make sure that they're nice and in place. But you want to create that step effect. Once you've got that step effect and you've burnished it and it's in place, we're going to bring in a couple of pieces of card. So don't forget, we're 8 inches high. So the tabs we're going to work with, one is going to be 5 inches and the other one is going to be 3 inches. So 5 and 3. But these can be whatever size you want them to be. They don't have to be the sizes I'm giving you. So feel free to go off on your own tangents. But what we're going to do is we're going to step up. So we don't want to be on this panel because that's where we're getting our distance from the background. We want to go to this panel. So we're going to bring in our glue. I'm going to use our dry as clear glue. We're going to go all over that panel. And then we're going to add on our first section, our first step. We're then going to come up to this top panel. I'm going to add our glue going down this part. And we're going to add on our next step. We're going to marry that up to the top. You can spend a bit more time doing this so it's all crisp and perfect, but that's what we're looking to create. So we've now got 2 pieces coming in, kind of jotting into that middle panel. So we're seeing, as we look at it from the front when it's standing, we've got area so we can see the different components. So we can flatten that down and we can then bring in our seams. So we've used some of the deep blue, if I remember rightly, from the foundations card, and then we've used our paper over the top of it. And we're going to place that down as the insert to our card. We're then going to bring in our next step and we're going to add that one onto our panel. And then we're going to finish off on our top step. I'm going to add our glue onto this one and we're going to pop that down onto here. So we've now got our 3 panels all created with our papers, all matching, all working through what we're trying to create, all looking very lovely. We can then bring in the components we're going to add on. So we're going to add on our lovely Rebecca. And Rebecca's going to stand in the background. We're going to bring in Rodney, and Rodney's going to stand on this front panel. And then we're going to bring in a couple of other elements. We're going to bring in our scalloped and pierced oval, and we're going to place that down into this central window. And then on the top of that, we're going to bring in that stamped present that we had already done. And we're going to layer that on the top. Now you could absolutely leave that open on the top there to write a sentiment. You could leave that without the present if you prefer. But for my one, I felt I would, if I was sending this, I would write in this area here because it's quite open. It's not going to interfere with anything and it would be a nice area to write on. So I thought actually I'm going to put some sentiment onto here. So I'm going to bring in our thinking of you panel. And this is the wide panel to begin with. And then the small panel. And on the small panel, I've stamped from me to you this Christmas. And that completes our card. So we've then got our free fold panel card featuring Rodney and Rebecca and our presents all coming together to make that lovely look. And it doesn't matter how you finish them. This one was coloured with alcohol markers. This one's been painted in using the mica mist, so we've got a bit more of a shimmer to it. And on this one, we've gone for a slightly different blue for the layers to match in with it. But it's all going to coordinate together and come together to make that effect for you. Now we're going to give away the card we just made. All you've got to tell us in the comments is which character do you like the most? Is it Rodney, Rebecca, Rosie or Riley, or is it all of them, or is it none of them? If you pop that in the comments, Pete will pick one lucky winner to win the card. Now, while Pete's doing that, I'm going to bring you back to me and we're going to say or start our goodbyes. So Pete, if you could get picking our winners, that would be lovely, please. Before I say goodbye to you this evening, first of all, thank you again to our DT. Thank you again to all of you who have joined us and stuck with us tonight for our marathon Thursday night out. And remind you of our shows on Hobby Maker this Monday. We will be on Hobby Maker on the 11th of August, which is this Monday coming at 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. It is an exclusive launch for our Rodney family. So you're not going to find this anywhere else when it launches on Hobby Maker come Monday. On Tuesday, we'll see our stockist launch day. And on Tuesday evening, I will be back at 7 p.m. for our stockist launch Tuesday night meta. Please remember there won't be one on Monday because I will still be in Birmingham packing up and getting home from our 5 p.m. show. So we're going to be moving it to Tuesday. Other things to remind you of, just trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you of. Don't forget our demo day, which is coming up on the 23rd of August at Craft Bliss in Poole. Keep giving you a little reminder of this on every one of our lives. Craft Bliss are very excited for their demo day. Gwen will be heading down to Poole for the day from 10 till 4, and she's bringing with us some goodie bags, she's bringing with us some special offers, and she's bringing with her a whole ton of inspiration with 2 new collections that I think you're going to really enjoy seeing more from. I think one of them is Rodney's Family, isn't it?
Yes.
Rodney's Family. So you'll see more inspiration at Craft Bliss on the 23rd of August from 10 till 4 with Gwen, which will be lovely because you've seen our take, you've seen the DT's take. Wait till you see what Gwen creates with them. I have a feeling she'll probably be bringing something new to the party as she normally does. So, okay, Peter. Winner announcement, independent adjudicator time. Are you ready?
Oh, no pressure. What are we going for first?
Let's go for the magazine winner because we started that competition first. So let's go for that one as our first announcement.
So there was a lot of you that took part in this one. So thank you very much. Correct answer was 132, issue number 132. And the winner is... Where's my drum roll?
I'm too busy looking for the magazine.
Oh, we've lost the magazine. This could be on hold.
No, come on, I'm drumming.
Sorry, drum roll. They're all like, so they're like, come on, Peter, come on. So the winner is...
Story of my life, that is.
Wow. That's what I'm dealing with. Congratulations, Sue Odell. So you will receive the signed magazine from Jamie. So congratulations. And am I doing my next announcement?
Well, you've got it. No wonder I can't find it. It's on the
I'm
floor.
not letting it go.
I was going to show a watched one, but don't. We'll do it in a minute. That's fine. Just thank you.
So, and am I doing the other one? Yes.
Yeah, go on.
Thank you for your comments on Who's Who. Oh, look at your arm coming in there. Winner is Paul Gunston. So, congratulations, Paul. If you let us know if you want your card signed, drop us a message with your address. We will have it signed or not signed. So, yeah. Well done, Paul. Thank you very much for everyone who joined in.
So Paul's won the card. Sue Adele's won. Paul, what was? I'm sorry, it's blown my mind. I was looking for a magazine. It's all gone out the window.
Did you find the magazine?
I did find the magazine. Yeah.
Oh, good.
So Paul.
Paul has won the card this
Paul
evening.
who?
Paul Gunston.
Paul Gunston. Sorry, Paul Gunston. I forgot your name. Paul Gunston won the card. So Paul, could you message us with your, if you want it signed or not? And I know, and this is the bit I wanted to jump in with, so sorry, Pete. I know you're struggling to find a message us button on the Creative Expressions page. We're looking to have it added. If you can't find it, send us an email, jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com. That might be easier for you. So just let us know for your card. And again, for Sue, if you could let us know, and we'll have your magazine posted out to you. If you didn't know, if you joined us later on and you're not too sure about what magazine is that Sue has won, we are the free gift in the Die Cutting Essentials magazine. You receive a set of 7 dies in with your magazine. It's $9.99 and it's now available at newsagents, selected craft stores, and of course supermarkets. We hear it's flying off the shelves, so if you haven't already seen it, I wouldn't leave it too long before you try and track one down. But Sue is going to win our signed copy this evening. So thank you both, and thank you all of you for joining in and guessing and taking part in our competitions tonight.
Thank you.
I think we can leave them in peace.
I think we should.
Okay. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for joining us. And from me, good night.
And good night from me.
And we will see you all on Monday at Hobby Maker, and on Tuesday night we'll be back right here on this page at 7 p.m. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye, guys.